everybody, and welcome back to another episode of We Bought a Mic, a podcast about little green men or little yellow men. Little gray men?
They're gray.
Yeah.
They're not green.
And they're not that little.
No.
They're like,
well, some of them seem
there's all kinds of sizes.
Yeah.
Questions remain. Tell me, Spielberg.
people are getting hung up on that. Like, oh, they can't be different sizes. Have you seen people or any animal? Like, what are you talking about?
Look at the World Cup right now and look at the different sizes of people from different countries.
Stupid.
Welcome. My name's Ernest.
My name is Hunter.
I'm Drew. I'm excited for this one, boys.
We are back. We have not recorded an episode in a month.
Yeah.
It is a hot summer.
Yeah.
You had to go away to Europe, Hunter, for a little bit.
Yeah, I had
went on an odyssey.
Yeah, so Chris, we just call him Chris, Mr. Nolan. He wasn't really happy with like the footage that he got.
Oh, you went to do the reshoots. Can you talk about this?
I can allude to it a little bit. But
you're the one you told Damon to say, "Let's go."
Yeah, so that was me. He actually, Damon, like I was just like playing Fortnite in the corner and I was just like, let's go. And he had an earpiece in. And so he's like, oh, that's my line now. I say, let's go. Nolan was a little upset because he heard that Homer might have fibbed a little bit and the Odyssey might not have actually been as true of a story as he originally thought.
Right.
So he took some notes from Nathan Fielder and was just like, well, I have to make sure that the Odyssey does happen, so that I'm not just like a liar. I'm not making a fiction film out here. So I had to go do the Odyssey so that this is
just to make sure.
Yeah, just to make sure.
Good. You're doing the work.
I don't know if that's included in the movie.
Did you?
Because technically that's the Iliad. But I was in Turkey.
Oh, okay.
And that was close enough, really. Okay. Stone's throw.
What was your favorite thing that you saw?
Man, that's tough. I keep talking about the food. I don't think I've shut the fuck up about the food to anybody since I've been there.
You're allowed to do that.
But it's incredible. Just the history, man. There's so much like history and culture everywhere you go that you'll just be like walking through. Like we had the most time in one place whenever we were in Rome. And Rome is just like, it's New York, but on the global scale. But it's like the New York for the whole world. But everywhere you go, you just like turn a corner and you're like, oh, and there's some remains from a building that was built 2,500 years ago, and just all kinds of like history everywhere you go. We went to a bunch of ruins. All of that stuff was awesome. Saw some incredible artwork at the Vatican. We're not going to talk about how they got all of that artwork.
It was aliens.
Yeah.
They had their own disclosure day.
Hey,
2,000 years ago. His name was Christ.
We did go to the Colosseum and the Acropolis. And my thought was like, damn, we used to be a society before we had smartphones. And now we're making like Fruit Love Island.
That's our version of the Sistine Chapel.
That's our version of the Sistine Chapel. We're so fucked.
It's getting better, okay? You have to
prompt it correctly.
You have to watch a few episodes.
Yeah, people just weren't prompting it right. That was the whole problem. It's great. Everybody should take a trip to the Mediterranean. It's beautiful. They're living right.
Look, I played Assassin's Creed Odyssey, okay?
So you did it.
Yeah,
so in
and
Assassin's
I watched
Creed,
Talented Mr. Ripley.
Yeah.
Hey, Talented Mr. Ripley is not...
You went to the spots.
That's not completely dissimilar to like how people live in some of those areas of the country or some of the areas of the world. I was telling a few people that like on the Grecian islands, they figured this shit out. They wake up in the morning, maybe they like go fishing or do whatever, but they like start their morning with a glass of Reiki, which is basically just like vodka, but just like a whole glass of it.
Oh my God.
They drink, they eat breakfast for like 2 hours. They take like a 3-hour nap. They wake up and then they just like have some wine and eat another meal.
Sounds great.
And their economy is like so good. And it's like, why can't we just do that here?
Well, they invented like modern civilization. So I think they're just coasting off of that.
Yeah.
Also, we're doing this the hard way, and our economy is like getting there.
Yeah,
exactly. In terms of shittiness, you're telling me I could do jack shit and it'd be the same.
We're brute forcing it. Well, that sounds lovely. Glad you made it back. We missed a lot in the meantime. So we're doing a separate episode to try to kind of do a grab bag of all the things that we missed. This episode is all about the new Steven Spielberg film, Disclosure Day. It's been 4 years since The Fabelmans. And we have a new Steven Spielberg film that we've seen. Drew and I have seen it twice. Hunter, I think you just
I've only seen it one time
at the press screening. We're recording this like a week after release, so we're able to kind of talk about it in the context of how the movie's being received. Pretty divisive reception from the masses. I mean, it has like pretty good ratings.
Yeah,
but the Letterboxd average is like kind of low.
3.2.
Wow, it's down to 3.
It's going down.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think that reception is almost better than if he had made something that was like undeniably like solid.
Yeah.
It's kind of better for the movie that people are talking. If he had made like a Munich, what would anyone be saying?
Right. Well,
There's nothing to say.
Is this better for the long-term legacy than even something like West Side Story that everybody agreed is like, this was really good?
Was that COVID?
Yeah, it was 2021.
It was shot pre-COVID, but released in like the heat of COVID.
I wonder how things would have gone for that movie, because everyone who's seen it, most people who have seen it are like, wow, top notch.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I love that movie.
It's incredible. It's beautiful.
I'll plug my episode of Films for Breakfast. Talked about it extensively. I actually watched the original West Side Story for the first time in preparation for that episode.
That's also a very good movie.
Go check that out. We can plug your 2 appearances too.
Yeah.
Ready Player One and Bridge of Spies. So a lot of Spielberg action happening over on Adam's pod.
I wouldn't know.
And I'll plug it now. We are having him on for a special Spielberg extravaganza. So this is not the only Spielberg episode that you're getting from us. It's Spielberg season. It's a hot Spielberg summer.
Yeah. Gramps is back.
Drew has seen a little movie in preparation.
Yeah. You saw like Always or like 1941, like one of his like is deep cuts, right?
I had never seen E.T. before.
Let's go.
We're checking out, everybody. You know,
pretty good.
Turns out it's kind of all I can think about. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. I cried. I haven't cried in a movie in a very long time, and it got my ass so bad.
It fucking gets you.
Yeah.
I always just, with movies like that, I kind of like starve myself because I'm like, there's just no way it's that fucking good. You know, it's very dependent on like childlike blah blah blah. It's all anyone ever says, and it does it. It's
the best part with E.T. is like, you know, the moments. And it doesn't fucking matter. Whenever they get on the bike, you're like, I know where this is going. And then it happens. And you're like, and I'm a fucking wreck right now.
And it's funny. It's really funny.
Really funny.
That movie beat my ass. It was so good.
He eats Reese's Pieces and drinks beer.
It also, I mean, this was my selection for winning
Oscar pool.
Winning the Oscar pool. I decided I wanted to do an episode about E.T. and Close Encounters because I had never seen either. So we're gonna do that plus more with Adam.
And it's the two Spielberg like totemic sci-fi pictures, right? Close Encounters 1977, E.T. 1982. And that's 2026, and he's coming back. I mean, he did a couple other sci-fis in there, like AI and Minority Report.
War of the Worlds.
Jurassic Park, you could also throw in there. But aliens specifically, extraterrestrials, is something that he kind of put his stamp on pretty early on. And I think, you know, when this movie was in the works, it was being described as like untitled Steven Spielberg alien movie, UFO movie, and then as more was being released and teased, we kind of, obviously the cast was being announced. We kind of started to find out more, and the anticipation and the mystery ramped up as to what would bring Steven Spielberg to return to the genre, to the subgenre of alien movies. And now here we are, and we've seen it. What did we think of Disclosure Day?
I guess I'll go first since I've only seen it the one time. And I think that we are all going to come in very positive on this movie. Like, yes. Without a doubt, we are not going to be, there's no contrarians here that are going to be the other side, the 2-star hive on Letterboxd for Disclosure Day. You're not going to find that here. I really love this movie a lot. This was a movie that, like, you compare it to all of these alien movies that he has, and a lot of people have kind of made the wise assumption that this is closer to something like The Post than it is E.T. Like, this is something where it is more of
people are starved for the truth.
Espionage. Yeah, it's trying to like uncover the truth kind of a thing. And the way that whenever this movie's at its best, it's whenever it's a movie on the run. Like it kind of reminded me a lot of Catch Me If You Can in that way too, where it's like it has this momentum to it. The parts where it slows, at least for me, are not necessarily with some of the more abstract sci-fi things, but it's where we sit in one place for maybe a little bit too long, because I think that it's at its best when we are on the run, and especially got to give her flowers. This is the best Emily Blunt performance of her entire career.
Yeah, I think the best performance of the year so far. It's
unbelievable. She is amazing in this movie. I think that Spielberg kind of knew, because going back last year, whenever they were doing the Jaws at 50, all of the promo stuff, Emily Blunt was all over that, like a year in advance for Disclosure Day. And I think that Steve kind of knew, like, I think I might have found something. I might have found like the next great leading performance in one of my movies here. It's amazing. I really love it. We'll talk. I definitely have a lot of nits to pick with this movie. Like, it's not a movie that is without flaws, especially with, I don't want to say with Josh O'Connor himself, but like with that plot line is not nearly as interesting as the Emily Blunt stuff. But still, this movie rules.
It's just, I'm a huge fan of this movie. I liked it even better the second time. It is unbelievably dense, like story and plot wise. There's just so much story that I think characterization has to take a back seat. And it's a bummer because they're unreal actors at every level of this movie. And they're squeezing like all they can out of their roles, particularly Coleman Domingo. His lines are like nothing. Like his lines could be delivered by anyone. And like on the page, that's not like a warm character, but he exudes like all of that.
They just like have him like, hey, just look with like a slight smirk, like right off camera.
Yeah.
Just when you're delivering these lines.
But that said, it's a really interesting mix of things in this movie. It's long. And it has all the espionage stuff. It has all the, truth will be revealed stuff. It has alien stuff. It's funny at times, mostly involving Emily Blunt. Again, she's fucking hilarious. It's one of the most dynamic performances I've seen in a Spielberg movie. He doesn't usually require that much. So she's unreal. A lot of interesting ideas being thrown around. I think the people who have critiques, I 100%, a lot of the people that probably gave it 2 stars, I probably agree with like everything they say. And yet, except for probably a couple things that I think are super needless and like pedantic critiques that people have, but it's just one of those like if I'm just taking in the good, I really like net positive. I'm really enjoying what I'm getting here. There are issues about, I think the biggest issue, and I'm not the first person to suggest this, but like after watching the movie, I was like, why did Koepp write this? He went back to David Koepp. They haven't, he has been working with Tony Kushner for all of his best recent movies have been Kushner.
West Side Story.
David Koepp has written some of the most important movies ever. He wrote Jurassic Park.
Black Bag.
He wrote Black Bag last year, which is like a perfect little movie, and it's so tight. But he's also written some of Spielberg's worst shit. And I think there is just so much unnecessary density in the movie, and it all comes down to the script. I think everything else going on, except for maybe a couple little directing tweaks, is awesome.
Well, Koepp based this on a treatment written by Spielberg. So Spielberg gets story credit.
Oh,
here.
yeah. Well, and Spielberg he pulls the strings on his movies, right?
Yeah.
Like this is his idea. It's just there's an amount of dialogue and explanation where like it borders on being like Nolan-ish a lot of the time. Like and the movie is so based on like vibes when it's good, and just like on things that you can't quite reach, like grasp and explain.
Well, but it's still, there are still so many sequences that do trust you to kind of put things together yourself. So this movie kind of left me both disappointed and amazed at the same time.
Yeah.
Like I was in awe and also sort of scratching my head a little bit. And the majority of this movie, like you're saying, it's a chase movie, right? So it kind of drops you in right in the middle. And I love the beginning of this movie, like wrestling match, stomping the camera. I'll get into kind of like my thematic interpretation of what the opening of this movie is, but you're just kind of left trying to play catch up a little bit and trying to fill in the blanks of like everything that's happened in this story before we enter it. and you are in that seat for many, many, many minutes, like maybe like the first 2 hours of the movie, you're in that seat of like, holy shit, I am on a fucking exciting thrill ride.
And you
right now.
you have to be so locked in
Yeah.
and like listening to every line to figure out what's going on.
And then you get to the end and you're waiting for this revelation. The movie does like I think, enough to reveal a lot of information. And we can kind of get into all of that later as to like, you know, the allocation of time and like how it chooses to reveal information. But you are sitting there waiting for the shoe to drop, for the disclosure day to happen. And when it happens, it's incredible. But when the movie ended, it did sort of leave me kind of thinking like, that was it, you know?
Yes.
And the note that the movie decides to leave on, I've read so many incredible like takedowns of this movie, and it's so cool how people are kind of ripping it apart and really getting into it. And specifically with this idea of like, is the movie saccharine? Is it so sentimental, so earnest, and so overly kind of naive that it can't quite land the note that it's trying to land in the final sort of stretch of the movie?
Yeah.
And I think that what fascinates me the most about this movie is that it is trying to do that. That Spielberg, in coming back to this genre, is not as interested in saying something new about aliens and about like the subgenre of UFOs and aliens in film that he helped to define, but he is trying to say something about humanity and specifically about himself.
Yeah, I was going to say his own fucking childhood again.
Again, right? Like it always goes back to the Fabelmans. Like this idea that the Fabelmans now recontextualizes every single Spielberg movie, and now you can't help but see it through the context of the Fabelmans and of the story of his own life and of his parents' divorce. You're thinking like, okay, now what? He did it. He made the movie. What's the next one?
Nuh-uh, buddy.
It's still that.
It's still that. It's still
It's even like this movie is like about the making of the Fabelmans in
Yeah.
a way. It's about like what the process of going through that sort of emotional turmoil of recreating your own traumatic childhood in order to break through that moment of realization and emotional clarity.
And so if you are a Spielhead and if you have time for all of that like meta tech stuff,
it's incredible.
Yeah, you're gonna eat that shit up.
Yeah.
Right.
If not, it's at the very least, it's not going, that stuff isn't going to like hit you over the head. But if you know about it, you're like, oh my God, Steven, stop.
Yeah.
So I want to talk more about that, but first I want to sort of get into like what like base level, if you every sort of cultural context aside, like how just the movie goes, right?
So I do wonder, and to that point, and I again, like as Spielberg heads, like, and just movie film bros in general are going to be more lenient towards this movie because you are reading more into the meta text. I wonder, and this is without like getting into like a full spoiler discussion about this movie yet, but so much of this movie is just fully in the trailers. And so I wonder if a lot of the drawback to or a lot of the negative reception that has come to the movie, especially right now, is to your point, Ernest, of like okay, so like that's it.
Yeah.
Like the disclosure day happens.
Right.
Now what?
The UFO heads are like, well, I already knew all
Yeah,
that.
that's
I've
just
been on
in the
Reddit.
trailers. And like that is something where I guess on the other hand, like it worked for Universal. This movie is up to 120 mil worldwide
Solid.
in its first
Very
full
good.
week. Yeah, like it's not even, it'll be a full week today as of its release. And it's at $120 million for an original sci-fi film. That was a hit, but also because there wasn't like a big twist to come, some other big shoe to drop, I wonder if that's what people are kind of a little bit more frustrated with.
I mean, is this the best alien movie ever made? No. It's not even the best alien movie that came out this year.
It's not the best Spielberg movie that came out this decade either.
Right.
No. Like I think Fabelman's is definitively better. And then West Side Story, you can argue. I haven't seen, but
I think I like this more than West Side Story.
They're about equal for me. I need to go back and watch West Side Story again, but I love both of them. I think for me, Fabelmans is number one. I know many heads, including our own Adam, that we will have on. Disclosure Day is his favorite movie of the 2020s.
Whoa,
from him,
really?
Over Fabelmans.
Oh, from him. Okay,
Yeah,
I was like,
from
holy
him.
fucking shit, Adam, let's go.
Yeah, number one. No, just from the 2020s. But I think that there is enough in this movie, especially whenever you read it, again, like you said, Ernest, more as a movie about humanity than a movie about the aliens. Then I think that there's a lot more to it. And I've only seen it the one time, but that's been the thing that's been kind of sitting with me the most, is what Spielberg is trying to say about who we are as people and like what we are doing to kind of destroy ourselves. And like how we would react if there was this other creature. This is the most religious movie that he's ever made, I think. Like that this is kind of the whole idea of, if aliens did come, like, what would that do to religion? Like, if we're looking up to the skies, praying to the heavens, and then something actually comes down from the heavens, is that destroy, like, whatever the traditional Christian and just Western idea of what God is?
It has a lot of conversations about that, like, reach on so many different sort of quadrants of like culture and how it would be affected by aliens. And the general thing that the general like endpoint of the argument is does it end up being too optimistic? And I have a specific thought about that I want to save until we're like really spoiling, because it's about the very, very end.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is too optimistic. And yeah, that is it coming out just now is part of why it's being received negatively, because it's correct that the very idea that releasing a bunch of film of something would immediately change everyone's minds about everything is stupid. Like, it's not, we have lived in a world for years now where like, it doesn't matter what the president even says. He can immediately say, I didn't say that. And then, and then half the people will think he didn't say that.
We're being shown like 4K Ultra HD live stream of genocide, and people just scroll right past it.
Yeah.
Even when we are confronted with the truth, we still can't like even hold it. We can't even grab onto it, much less have it change us.
It's also
or have it create any kind of lasting.
We're numb
anything
to everything.
And also like the Pentagon now, as like a very clear distraction tactic whenever too much news is going on, releases like verified, credible, footage of
UAPs now.
Well, things that are by definition like unidentified flying objects. It's just like things in the sky that they don't know what it is, and they look identical to the videos of UFOs flying in the movie. And they come out, and it's now we have to roll our eyes when those come out, because it's like, oh, it's just because literally
they were
of what happened
from
it's because of what happened in Iran this week or whatever. Like, it's so frustrating. And I mean, so much about this movie, including what we'll talk about, like the outmoded technology that they choose to release this on, which is local news,
I have a lot of thoughts about
which is really silly. If this movie had come out exactly as it is in 2005, I think it would be a huge hit. I think it would be way more positively received. And nothing would change about the movie at all, because the only time smartphones are used is the very end of the movie. Our main character is communicating on burner phones, like little, flip phones.
Yeah.
There's and all of the futuristic technology that's used by this evil company, Wardex, is so Minority Report level, like almost like goofy
translucent screen.
That it drives me up the wall that Spielberg loves the translucent, like the CSI Miami screens. It drives me insane. But yeah, so like there's nothing about this movie.
It's a move that I think Spielberg's done in like at least 3, if not like 5 of his sci-fi movies, is somebody on the translucent screen, they're manipulating it with their hand and they go minimize and they throw it to another screen or to a person.
Yeah.
He loves like that move.
Yeah. And just generally having like an HQ room at this company with 1 billion screens on the wall. It's all silliness.
Yeah.
It's all very movie. This is a very movie.
Yeah, exactly.
I think we're so cynical that not only can we not accept a message from a story that is so sentimental, but we also can't accept like a movie existing in the reality of a movie. And I understand that that's like, that can come off as like a hand wavy excuse for poor writing. And this movie, I think, sometimes does have poor writing, but it also like can be silly. It can just have like
it is silly.
A extremely over the top broad bad guy and still work. Like not every movie has to be this kind of like ultra gritty realistic thing that has to feel like incredibly this verisimilitude to our world.
Yeah,
like,
it doesn't have to be of the moment. Not everything needs to be speaking to like this moment in particular. And I feel like sometimes I fall into like that level of criticism against certain movies in the past. Like I definitely will not say that like I have been completely immune to that, of something just being like a little bit too saccharine for my liking. But I think the difference is that what Spielberg is going for here is going for a timelessness, where to your point, Drew, this could have come out in 2005. This could have come out instead of War of the Worlds in the same spot. And it could, you could do very little to change what it is in there. And I think the other big difference here that people aren't recognizing enough is the fucking craft in this movie.
The way
like,
he moves the camera, man.
It's not just that like, oh, we can just like hand wave away because it's just Spielberg. Fucking grandpa's moving that goddamn camera. Yeah. This is some of the best work that Janusz Kaminski has ever done in his life. There's two specific sequences that happen. The one that everybody
like
is
40 times.
I think I did this little move where I like scad to the front of my seat and like put my hand over my face whenever there's the shot of Josh O'Connor running through the field and the camera goes over like laterally through the
fence,
alongside the fence, through the fence, and then into the open car door with him. That I was like, God damn,
without cutting.
And then earlier on in the film, we have a like not as much of an action sequence, but the scene with Emily Blunt whenever she goes into the studio. Yeah. That's another long oneer. That's like my fucking, he hasn't lost a step.
That builds up to the clicking from the trailer. Like that in the trailer, that moment is so jarring. It's like, whoa, what's happening? Why is she doing this kind of guttural? You can assume it's an alien language, but in the context of the trailer, you even in the context of the movie, like you don't know that that's what's happening. And the build up to that in that shot you're talking about and everything happening before then, when we're introduced to her, is so expertly done. The building of tension in this movie, I think, is expert level.
It really is
from our guy.
It's incredible. And so much of what is told through Emily Blunt's character is, I think it's Spielberg at like his very, very best, because it really shocked me how dynamic he was able to make those sequences. And obviously a ton of fucking credit goes to her.
She's meeting the moment.
I also think regarding Blunt and her performance, because she's reached a level as like a star, and like Spielberg, because he doesn't write these scripts, but he knows his story, he's a little more flexible on the day of with like tweaking lines, and he lets his actors tweak a little. No one tweaked their lines more than she did in this movie. She is speaking in a manner that David Koepp does not write. He doesn't write like that. She stutters a ton. It's way more conversational and natural sounding than anyone else in the movie. And
well, I mean, even the clicking itself was a thing that she just did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So cool.
So that's why
it's like her vocal stem that she would do.
And again, I said the same thing in relation to this guy who started in I Swear, who then won all those awards, where like he didn't win the award because of what, the Tourette's that his character had. He had it because that character had Tourette's, and also he was an interesting dynamic character. This character has something crazy happening to her. But in addition to that, she is, before that, really interesting. She could have nothing happening to her at all, and she'd be really fun to watch. Like she is all over the place. She's kind of like scattershot. She's like goofy. So I don't know.
Do you guys want to like just go in order of the plot?
We really should.
All right, so we're going to spoil Disclosure Day now. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. We love the movie. It's worth seeing. Go see it. It's a Spielberg movie.
A new Spielberg. We don't know how many more of these we're gonna get, man. You got to take advantage of these while they're here.
So just to back up, I wanted to share some thoughts about like the opening scene of this movie, right? It's this wrestling match. Again, camera getting stomped is the first shot of
POV. POV wrestling match shots open the movie. And
immediately I'm thinking like, why the hell would Steven Spielberg choose to open his long-awaited alien sci-fi like UFO movie with this scene, with this sequence. And as it's cutting to all these different people screaming, cheering on the match, what my mind went to is, what if this was our first impression to another species?
Mm-hmm.
What if this scene, this reaction, this behavior of humans was our first impression to a non-human sentient species? And I think that where my mind goes from there is like, it kind of sets the tone of where he's going thematically with this idea of empathy, right? Because that's kind of like the final note that he wants to leave you on. If you're sort of bookending this movie of him trying to pass this baton of like, believe in your ability to have compassion for other human beings. If you start it with this scene of people cheering on violence and wanting to inflict pain on each other, is such an interesting way to start the movie, to think like, look at where we are, to judge where we could be.
Well, yeah, I think it's that. It's just like, it's basically like showing like the difference between that at the very beginning that we're seeing, which is basically like, we are still apes. We're still just like fucking monkeys that haven't actually like developed enough cognitive thinking to like,
we like punch.
Yeah, we just want to punch and beat shit out of each other. And then at the end, you see this alien species that was advanced enough to like transcend across space and try to find its own way to be communicative with a whole other species, to say like, we ain't close.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really interesting read, and I haven't heard that one. I read it as like, professional wrestling is theater.
Yes,
it is.
I like this read.
Yeah,
it is a good one.
I listen, coming out of the theater, I thought that I had a super unique take in it. That, other people have this take too.
It might be what Spielberg more closely intended. Yeah,
professional wrestling is something that the crowd has to buy in on, despite knowing that it's not real.
Yes,
and that is the main thing Spielberg asks of his audiences in movies like this one, which are out there.
I need you to believe.
He's like, listen, I need you to be like this crowd. I need you to suspend your disbelief.
Right. Go with me.
Like, they know it's not real, but it's also real in a way, because they are doing all this.
Yes.
He's like, this is the same thing.
But you need the audience to buy into the unreality of it for it to work.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's really interesting. I would love to ask Spielberg how he feels about professional wrestling. Because like, I could never get there with pro wrestling, because I always thought it was so stupid. But now I'm like, that is kind of cool that it's like, people call it like male drag, like male version of drag shows or whatever. It's like getting to pretend.
Yeah. We have every year during the Wabamies, we give out an award called the Leap of Faith Award. And I think this is like the Leap of Faith, the movie.
Yeah.
Like this entire movie is Spielberg saying like, I'm going to need you to trust me. I'm going to need you to
That's exactly what the scene is. Like, this is, here we go.
If you want to leap with me,
there's so much.
There's going to be some weird rocks, and we're just going to twist it around. And we're going to bend the fabric of physics and time and space.
So, because it doesn't give you time to do anything else. Like, it opens the wrestling match. It turns out Kellner's there. We don't know
Josh O'Connor.
Yeah, it's Josh O'Connor. He's great. We don't know anything about him, but he's got a backpack, and he's clearly not there to see the wrestling match.
Could you tell that just based on that Josh O'Connor looks like how he does, that he was there for that wrestling match?
He looks, the energy of it, the pacing of it.
Yeah, like, he's just sitting there like dead still, and everyone's freaking out. It's really well shot, obviously. But and then someone grabs his backpack. It is the goon who's by far the worst character in the movie. Not even close.
Who is that guy?
I like him, but this is what I'm talking about. This being a movie is like, this guy's like so basic.
I know.
I just don't care.
Not to skip ahead too far, but the point where later on in the movie where they're making everybody see a person that they like love and hold dear, and the fact that he's the only guy who doesn't see anybody is, I'm like, what the fuck? What skeletons does this guy have in his fucking closet?
He's fucking Volcel.
He has no one he's ever loved.
It's so funny. He sees him. We're immediately thrust in this plot of like, we're doing a handoff of important shit in a backpack so he can get his girlfriend back.
And I love that the movie like withholds. It's like, I'm not going to give it to you just yet. And you're going to have to wait.
It really is. And it's, that stuff, I think I get why Koepp was brought in to write this. Also, I mean, people have sort of been postulating like Kushner just does not do sci-fi. Like, he's never done any amount of sci-fi. He's done he did Angels in America, so he's done like that type of thing. But Kep can do like the complicated shit, kind of, and where they're like counting the serial numbers on all the little chips or whatever, and
the flash drives.
Yeah, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah,
that's all fun. And then
the shot introing Collin Firth through the rainy window and the light just blasting against his white hair. I'm just like, yes,
he is
Steven.
There's a lot of people have come out anti-Firth because of this. I don't think that he's doing anything wrong.
It's a basic bad guy. It's a
what's he supposed to do with these lines? Like, he's playing a really like basically shit guy.
I love Collin Firth in this movie as just like hamming it up villain.
Yeah,
like that's just it feels 80s. Like it feels very like classic in a way that I like.
And I get not being satisfied with that because part of me still wants to be like, but what if he was interesting? Because they try to make him interesting at the end and it doesn't land all the way.
I have a dead wife.
And then,
and
then like, I think the most unforgivable moment in the whole movie is when he just sits down at the end. Like, I think that's awful, but
we'll talk about the end when we get there. We'll talk about the end when we get there.
We'll get there. But,
so they drive away. They get away with this device. So they introduce this alien device, which, for all the complaints of like this movie not having any new ideas about like alien anything, like that's new. I've never seen that in a movie. This device and all the things it can do.
See, I think that people don't like that it's not really defined in its powers, but I don't give a shit.
It's very like Doctor Who sonic screwdriver.
Yes, there you go.
Kind of do anything.
Yeah.
This is where these are the types of critiques I totally disagree with, is the really pedantic stuff that people are hung up on fucking Twitter.
Yeah.
At our screening, the guy sitting next to me was huffing and puffing the whole fucking movie. And I wanted to punch him in the face because it was like, just let me watch this. Every single moment like that, where he'd be like what the fuck is that?
Was it a member of the press?
I don't know.
I think I know who it is.
Oh, we're going to have to discuss afterwards.
I think it was Adam Donato.
No, he was at the Knicks game. He had to leave.
Yeah.
He was watching it on his phone and huffing. It was the one that they lost. But that's stupid. Like, for example, that's a good one. The idea of the design of the aliens being derivative, I think that's fucking awesome because what it's saying is that the reason culturally that we think aliens look like that is because they do.
Yes,
exactly. Yeah.
Like, is that too hard to understand? That he's like, the last 70 years of our
we've
culture,
been right.
The reason our culture landed on that, the reason that Steven Spielberg landed on that when he made Close Encounters is because it's real. He's right.
Yeah.
Like, duh. There's a moment a lot of people are shitting on where a crop circle appears around Josh O'Connor's character, and they're like, that doesn't make any sense. First of all, it match cuts to that same crop circle on the device.
Yeah, he's dropping in. He's diving.
Well, second of all, this movie is saying that all of the ideas, all the cultural iconography, everything that we think about aliens is based in reality and was 70 years ago. So it
all existed for a reason. This didn't just come out of nowhere.
That's why it's not trying to invent so much new stuff, because it's like
it's just wrapping it all together.
Yeah, that all happened.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
I think that's fun.
It's crazy that Steven Spielberg really does believe, like he made this movie because he's like, man, I'm turning 80. I'm not going to be here that long. I'm Steven fucking Spielberg. I'm going to put my thumb on the scale and I'm going to be like, hey, before I go, can you guys just like release the truth? Cause I know it's there.
Yeah.
I believe I know that it's real. He truly, this movie is him saying like, I believe, and he wants us to believe.
It's also one of those really sort of easy to trace things where like the reason that recently he's become so obsessed with like information being released and like becoming known, I feel like genuinely is another childhood thing where he made like 30 movies about deadbeat dads, and then he found out that it wasn't his dad's fault.
Yeah.
That like, he's like, wow, my entire worldview was because I didn't have all the info.
Right. Oh, fuck, dude.
Sure.
I genuinely
he didn't
think
realize
that's
that there was fucking Seth Rogen was fucking his mom the whole time.
I genuinely think he's that simple of a guy that he's like,
goddamn,
information is important. He makes the post.
We have to know.
I seriously think that.
they get away in the car. We get a quick little intro to Coleman Domingo on the phone. He's building something. They're on some kind of set, putting up.
He's doing the rehearsal.
He's making the rehearsal.
Yeah,
right?
he's doing the rehearsal season 1.
He's building Steven Spielberg's
Childhood home.
Steven Spielberg's set in the Fablemans of his childhood home is what he's building.
That's exactly it. I mean, that you don't have to look hard.
So I actually listened to the Art of the Cut podcast. Do you guys know that one? It's like
I think I've
that's
heard
the
of it.
editors.
Someone. I think Jess or someone in our Discord recommended it, but he just interviewed Sarah Brochar, who edited this. She did a phenomenal job. This is her first where she is the main editor of a Spielberg movie. She's been working under Michael Kahn, and he just finally retired because he's super old. And she did great with this, but a couple of really interesting things she said. First, she brought that up specifically. She was like, she knows him really well, obviously. She's like, yeah, he just built his childhood home in the Fablemans. And then in this movie, she's like, I think that really affected his psyche. And so he built him building his home in this movie.
Yeah.
Another really interesting thing, just so I don't forget, is while shooting the movie, because he comes up with story and then the script is written. While shooting the movie, multiple times he keeps going, we need to get back to Margaret. Like, why are we focusing so much on all this cybercrime shit? Margaret is like knocking it out of the fucking park. Emily Blunt, we need to get back to her. There's a 4-minute another like action set piece that's just involving Josh O'Connor and Wardex that is cut completely out of the movie because of this.
So the pacing,
because while they're shooting, he's like, oh shit, like. And I think that is the biggest flaw in the movie is like there's one piece that's way more compelling than the other piece.
Yeah. Josh O'Connor, I love him in this movie. He's kind of underused.
Well, he's underwritten. Yeah. I don't think he's underused. I think he's just underwritten. I think that on its surface, this is supposed to be a true two-hander. And even like on the outside looking in, it is a two-hander between Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor. But to your point, the Margaret character is just so much more well realized. And I think that she actually is really well written. For all the criticisms I have of the script, like I think that is a full fleshed out character. And then Josh O'Connor's Kellner just kind of ends up being like along for the ride. And I do think that part of that is that like Emily Blunt is like, she is the communicator. Like she is the artistic side, and Kellner is like the math guy. He's like the one who's like, I can figure out the code and stuff like that. So of course he's not as interesting of a character at the end of the day. So that does bring us, whenever we're going kind of beat by beat, into meeting Margaret for the first time.
And Wyatt Russell.
Who,
our favorite.
Awesome.
Fuck yeah, buddy.
our favorite boyfriend.
Our favorite Nepo baby.
Third best Russell. Fourth best in his family. He's so great. I love him.
His character is really interesting because it's like there's a lot of comedy being mined out of him, just being this clueless kind of idiot.
What the heck?
Just being like, I just want to move to Kansas City and just like fucking keep my acoustic guitar career. I got
kind of taking off.
Yeah, he's like, I got 2 nights.
His Tuesdays and Thursdays. He doesn't have to DJ anymore.
He's like, God, my fucking bitch girlfriend saw a bird and now she's crazy.
He never does anything unreasonable.
No, he's right. Yeah. He's like, this is insane.
I think that maybe the one unreasonable thing that he does is like, maybe don't call the cops or the medical people to come to the gas station.
Well, here's the thing.
Maybe just stay with her and just make sure that she's okay.
No, because Margaret could read his mind, and Margaret was like, homie, you're like about to break up with me, like right now. Like it's not like they were like on pretty good terms until this happened.
Yeah,
he was already kind of like, it was rocky.
And he still like, he doesn't think that she's reading his mind or anything. He's just like, oh, she can just tell that I'm fucking done because she's being insane.
Here's my note for Jackson, the Wyatt Russell character. If he looked at their apartment, I'm gonna tell you right now, Tuesdays and Thursdays ain't paying for that fucking apartment in downtown Kansas City now.
He's a deadbeat.
So you might want to like reassess yourself in your life before you do that.
One salary household.
Yeah.
That is a weather girl's
vaulted ceilings in downtown Kansas City. Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Very rich weather girls.
Hey man, I will say Kansas City. Maybe the apartment rates aren't too bad there.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm gonna Zillow
I mean,
it.
generally speaking, one big issue my girlfriend who's worked in local news had with the movie is
I really want the Annabelle take
how
on this.
massive the team is at that station. Like way too many people working there. News anchors don't get makeup at local news.
Okay.
Stuff like that. Like
Real? Oh, you just have to do your own makeup.
yeah.
Oh.
And that's why they all like look pretty bad on local news.
I will say Emily Blunt, extremely believable as like it's somebody I never would have thought, but then you see her and you're like, yeah, you are like beautiful, but you are beautiful in like a news anchor like you make sense that I could see you on a local news station.
And again, I almost think this almost like goes as like a how did you do this, Emily Blunt? She's had a lot of work done on her face, and she's still performing to that level. She's still like moving her shit through it. She's
had really good work done.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. It's just like I've never seen someone with that much work done, like gesticulate like that. You know what I mean? It's phenomenal work. You buy her. Yeah, I love the weather shimmy. You buy all that stuff that she's doing.
She's asked to do a lot. She's asked to oscillate between this kind of quirky, charming thing to this like really heavy emotional thing and everything in between, right? Like the whole purpose of this character is that she has this connection with this bird that unlocks what we later find out is like this alien power that's been seated inside of her. And it blossoms into this like ability to read people's minds and transform her physical self into like the thing that they want the most.
No. Well, that's only with the stick. That's only whenever she's holding the little stick that
Is
she
that
can
true?
do that. Yeah.
No, I feel like
No, the stick isn't going invisible. That's when she can go invisible. That's
I thought
when
she's holding the stick whenever she can transform into other people.
I feel like she doesn't have
just
that.
does that.
She not have the stick? Okay, you guys have seen it twice, so.
Yeah, she
I
just
don't know.
does that.
I don't know for
Well,
sure.
she
but-
can also,
the
I mean,
stick-
she can fluently speak like Korean and any other language.
The stick gets introduced once she's at the rehearsal house and she has to go back into her memory. And that's when they hold the stick together. Don't you ever let go. No matter what happens, don't you ever let go.
Okay,
and then the
yes.
house goes invisible.
You're right.
So
And then she can turn all the TVs back on.
the way that it is handled,
And that's the remote.
Yeah.
well, the way that it's handled, like how she like only has like a fleeting awareness of what she's doing.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I think again, I like these are lines that she's 100% saucing up, but like the way that she sort of leaves the house after speaking in whatever language it is, like Russian or whatever, you know, and I don't know, the way that she's just like, no, what was that? No, anyway, I gotta go. Like that could very easily be like the most annoying thing you've ever seen, where you're like, no, you can't leave right now. And for some reason it works. And what she does to the cop too.
Yeah. So that's what I was gonna say is we buy her as a weather girl. Yes, we buy her as somebody who can speak to aliens. Do we buy her as somebody who's just like singing Fergie at the top of her lungs?
It's Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani. Sorry. The Great Escape. Sorry.
You.
Excuse me. I'm so sorry.
Featuring Akon.
I know. I was thinking.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I was just thinking a mid 2000s female pop artist. I'm sorry. I meant Gwen.
you.
They could just drop this whole thing in 2005.
That's what I was about to say. That was the joke I was about to make.
But also it is
Also,
What year
Akon
did this
already
come out?
discovered aliens in Akon City, by the way. He's way ahead of us.
he was touched. If they
Those are
visit
actually
us,
the
they're
only
going,
residents.
They're going straight to Akon City.
This looks just like my buddy's house back home. I recognize this penis-shaped
Yeah, this is
building.
like rabbit vibrator
We
shaped
all have
house.
dildo-shaped houses in the future.
Guys, take a gander at Akon City if you're at your home computer.
Look at Akon City 2025 pictures specifically to see the progress they've made.
That's another. It's just little things like that people are harping on. Where it's like, why that? It's like, yeah, she listened to that 20 years ago. You know what I mean? She's like a fucking corny elder millennial lady.
Yeah,
like that makes perfect sense. What are you talking about?
No, I wasn't saying it as
No,
an actual.
no, I know you're not.
I
I'm
know
just
some
saying,
people
I
have
saw
like legitimately knocked it as like a.
Yeah.
What freaking year is this?
I have to get off Twitter.
I'm sorry.
Man. I
What
have
do
to get off
you
Twitter.
listen
Not
to
now with
in
the
your
World
car?
Cup.
I know the World Cup.
I'm
Dude.
fully locked in now.
Spanish Twitter is taking over. If I see one more tweet about like this is how Haitians react when they get clean water during the hydration break,
Oh my god.
it fucking kills me. It is the best. Twitter's at an all-time high right now.
The Ronaldo hate is like reaching a level where I almost feel bad for him, even though I hate him so much. They're calling him Holando on there.
I just love them clipping all the great goals. Just watching it all back.
So where are we in the movie? She goes to the station. She does the
we get the big tracking shot leading up to the clicking.
just like, which is again that's awesome, just Spielberg at his very best.
Just the circling around and then her like fully sitting down with the Korean guy, like just speaking like fluent Korean.
It starts in walking in through the door, then to the makeup room. She has to get right back up, walk, and she's dropping these little moments that let you in on exactly what's going on with her. She tells that woman that she has to like run away from her abusive husband. Then you get the Korean guy. That also, this whole movie's playing against the backdrop of like some kind of conflict.
No, it's World War III is about to happen, which again, another like outdated idea.
Another 2005 thing.
Yeah.
North Korea is the one that's starting World War III, which is like, we're well past that now.
And also it's, if the very end of the movie depends upon everyone like with a smartphone watching those videos, guess who doesn't have smartphones is North Koreans.
Yeah.
They don't.
You'll be like, wait,
this is changing nothing for them.
They're like, I guess we still just going to drop a bomb.
No. Hunter on the cruise in Greece doesn't have a smartphone. Yeah. He doesn't know.
Guess what? I didn't pay for the Wi-Fi package, so I hope we're good.
It's all really, really well written and well acted to the point that you're like, I don't know. It's crazy that she keeps on just sort of like humming through these interactions and no one is like grabbing her and like shaking her. Like, what the fuck did you just say to me?
Like, what?
It's like, and it's like, she's late. So she's moving fast. It's so well paced out that you're like, yeah, we're hurrying.
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you. It works perfect.
This is an idea that gets like way more intense as the movie goes on, but it starts here. The idea of Spielberg face. If you don't know, Spielberg face is the face that Sam Neill makes when he sees the dinosaurs in Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And it's in basically every Spielberg
movie.
what
Spielberg face is, even if you don't know what Spielberg face is.
And there's this idea of this movie like being about Spielberg face and about
down to the poster itself is
about how like she has this power to like use Spielberg face to get through these obstacles. And then when she uses Spielberg face, the person that she uses it on just returns it right back to her.
That's really funny.
It's crazy. Like, this man is a crazy man. And I love him so much. My 80-year-old grandfather, Steven Spielberg.
He's just fascinating because like whether he knows it or not, he's always putting way too much, like he's oversharing in all of his movies, even when he doesn't. The problem I have with Close Encounters is that he didn't know that he was oversharing.
Yeah.
And like, so there's this weird distance.
Right.
But like now in retrospect, you're like, oh my God, dude,
yeah.
Steven. Whereas in E.T., he was actively trying to give you his childhood. Which you guys should watch, by the way.
Yeah, I should check that out.
It's okay.
I like Close Encounters because he's just like, no, Dad left for the right reason.
Yeah.
Dad's doing something far better than raising me and my sisters.
We'll get into it, but after I watched E.T., I went back and knocked a half star off Close Encounters.
Oh, no.
Name one thing that's
Close
not way better in E.T.
They can both be 5 stars.
Yeah.
One doesn't take away from the other.
But one makes you feel and one doesn't. Period.
You know what? I think I'm going to add a half star to War of the Worlds because those aliens are mean. And I think that's good.
You think that's revolutionary? You think like there wasn't enough? They're like, oh, peaceful aliens. See, been there, done that.
Yeah. Where are the people getting pulverized in Disclosure Day?
Yeah.
It is funny that like right when this movie should have come out is when he was making his like most cynical thing.
Yeah.
You know, when this is so not. So anyway,
she starts clicking. She collapses.
And this whole sequence is fucking electric.
Yeah.
Front to back, it is 6 stars. It's so good that that's why I found that snippet so interesting where the editor just openly said that, while they were shooting, he was like, oh, fuck, like this is way better than the other stuff. Because this is the one consequence if you don't write your own scripts. You know what I mean? Like while you're shooting, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Like, and you can only do so much to correct.
She's nailing it.
But he was dead right where he was like, this is the stuff. You know what I mean? She's just slaying this.
So then we start to cut between Collin Firth in the sort of layer, the techno layer, and Josh O'Connor getting to the house, right?
getting to the nun.
Meets back up with Eve.
Oh, first it's the nun.
Yeah.
The nunnery.
Yeah.
We're with Jane. That's his girl, Eve Hewson.
Yeah, first we get the nun, and we got to shout out Elizabeth Marvel here.
Yeah, shout out to Elizabeth Marvel.
Yeah, I wrote down for her efficient shooter in this movie. 12 points in 8 minutes.
There you go.
It's just she
That's
is.
what you want.
Again, it's a matter of like these lines could just kind of be flat.
Yeah.
But like when she calls her later on and asks her the question, Elizabeth Marvel is like it's like a goosebump moment.
Yeah.
She's a real like Jose Alvarado out there.
Facts. She's getting steals.
Yeah.
We find out that Eve Hewson
Stealing scenes away from Eve Houston, I'll tell you that much. No, I will say this is the weakest part of the movie for me is the Eve Houston, Josh O'Connor, that whole
their relationship
of stuff.
it doesn't matter.
It's
Spielberg
nothing.
doesn't know about like sex and stuff yet.
He definitely
He doesn't know about romance.
Give it in his 90s, he's gonna really unlock that.
He's gonna start fucking.
I like it. It's not like it's bad. Again, I'm not discrediting the actors. I think they're giving fine performances with what they have. And I think that especially with Eve Hewson's Jane character, there's great ideas in there, but I think there are better ideas to unpack outside of the movie because the movie doesn't really give you enough meat. It's almost like you have to kind of do your homework a little bit for like some of that
she ended
stuff.
up shocking me. She ended up being really fucking good in this movie.
No,
so you're in on her.
I like her, but their relationship together,
it just goes back to the original sin of the movie is the script is fucking junky. Like the script kind of sucks.
It's a little janky.
Yeah. But then Spielberg comes
she's an info machine. Her, Josh O'Connor, and Coleman, and the villains are all sort of information machines. Like they're just feeding you like what all the shit make.
But again, the way Spielberg shoots this is when Josh O'Connor is delivering this little monologue of his backstory of him like going to prison and being recruited by Wardex. Like I'm just so invested. Like I understand that
That's
this is
a
an
great
exposition dump, but I'm like the way the way this thing is shot, the way his acting and performing, it's just like, oh my God.
Wait, is that the same scene as whenever we get the first clip of the aliens? Or no, does that happen in the monastery?
So that's in the monastery.
Okay.
And then we go to the house. Yeah, so we can get into the house. This stretch of the movie sort of kicks off like one of the big set pieces where they're hiding out in this house. And finally
it's the house Emily Blunt was actually in Looper.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
I mean, it looks like it.
It does look.
Jane basically says like, it's time to tell me what the fuck is going on. And that's also us, the viewer, telling Spielberg like, all right, come on. This is why we're here. It's disclosure day. You got to tell us something. We finally get this lore drop unlocked of the videos
and just
of the reveal. And
just like even like what Wardex is really, why O'Connor works there, how he was recruited by Hugo, Coleman Domingo, all that stuff.
The first video we see is the second is the torture. But the first video, it's Nixon.
I was gonna say it's Nixon like shaking hands with the alien.
He's meeting up. He's trying to impress a guy who's like a Tim Robinson style like slapstick comedian from the 60s or whatever.
So apparently this is like a real thing.
Yeah,
like the UFO heads were all over this.
This is based on like a reality.
Was you saw this with UFO head Nate himself? Did he call this out?
No,
the scene.
No, he didn't. Oh. But I have like
Jackie Gleason.
I had a fleeting awareness of this, and like the look of the actor is based on Jackie Gleason. Like, so yeah, you get that. You get Nixon. By the way, Eve Hewson is like, well, who's the guy Nixon's with? You can tell that was Nixon just looking at that fucking security camera from the 70s.
No, I can tell that was Nixon.
That's all really cool. I enjoy that. This is going to sound really fucked up. The torture video wasn't fucked up enough for me.
You want some Red Room style shit.
I mean, maybe that just speaks to like a modern like internet desensitization, but like the reaction that O'Connor has versus like it's just like an alien screaming.
It's the PG-13 version.
Yeah, it's like show me something that really gets me like
cut his little belly open while he's
that's
alive.
the thing is like I don't want to tell you to make
back room
because Spielberg's not going to make it nasty or whatever, but it's like I want to feel that we're doing crimes to these fucking aliens.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't feel that.
Like waterboard the aliens.
Yeah, it seems like they're just like giving him shots.
Well, I think
or something, you know, like, and then he's screaming. Like,
I think that the 1-2 punch of holy shit, this is real footage of aliens. Like you have the bodies that Nixon is showing off in the coolers. To now this is a live one that we're like holding down and torturing.
Yeah, the first thing that we can think to do is we need to study this thing for science and like torture and kill it.
That's just that simplicity of it, I think, kind of gets you enough of the way there. But I do agree that like for the reaction that we're supposed to get, he could have gone a little bit further. But then, you know, you don't want the movie to be rated R.
I know, and it's Spielberg.
Yeah.
Like,
show me gray E.T. in a sewer.
well, I was gonna say in E.T., like a lot of the Spielberg-y stuff makes sense because we're in the perspective of a kid, and so you feel things as a kid would. In this, like sometimes it feels like he's giving you a kid version of stuff, and it's like, but this is an adult's movie.
Shriveled up E.T. is the most upsetting thing I've ever seen.
It's pink. When he's pink and they find him with a raccoon in the ditch.
Dude, yeah.
I was like, what the fuck?
It's really upsetting.
It's like obscene.
It's really that, and the scene where E.T. dies is like the most upsetting thing possible. Like as a kid, I remember seeing it and I was very upset.
Yeah,
I was very disturbed by those sequences.
And then we get the little back and forth sort of argument as to like, okay, you're gonna release this. Why? What's your motivation?
I think that's a cool conversation.
Yeah, it sort of sets the stakes a little bit.
She has a really good line that I wish I'd written down, but you know, where he's like, it's not their right to decide that people can't see it. And then she has a really good retort, you know, where it's like, well, why is it your right to, you know, to determine that the world is capable of dealing with that?
I mean, her
we have it's like an Edward Snowden situation.
Yeah, the truth belongs to the world.
Whistleblower.
Her rationale is a little bit wonky, like her saying that like entire civilizations are predicated on this idea of Christianity and like belief in a higher power, and that you can't like take that away from it.
See, I actually think that that's really accurate. As somebody who just was in the Vatican like a couple of weeks ago and saw people from quite literally every corner of the world, like old people that were like going on the floor sobbing, like looking up at like this majesty and this like heavenly thing that we have kind of ascribed.
And you think that would go away if?
She's just saying that like people won't be able to deal with it. Yeah, like, they'll like freak out.
If
people are freaking out.
Once again, if there's something like where you are constantly praying to the heavens for somebody to descend down and to like return to Earth, you've got to knock it off. You've been.
What is he doing?
He's been licking my kneecap for the last like 2 minutes straight. My knee is soaked.
You have a boner.
We're gonna give.
He's licking my red rocket. No, but like if you like bring that onto the world, then people aren't going to know how to react. People 100%. Are going to worship this immediately. Like, you know, day one that an alien comes down, there will be people who are just like, I don't know what to do except for to praise this because you are the most powerful being I've ever met.
Exactly. And that is a valid question, which by the way, we don't actually see the end result of like releasing this info, which I think is very important. And I think people who are criticizing the movie should fucking remember that, because they're assuming that like
everything goes well.
Yeah, it's like we're not saying that. We're just saying that these people believe that. But like, yeah, someone later in the movie has a great line that's like, this information is a virus that we have no antidote for. Like humanity is not equipped to comprehend this. Well, I think that's really interesting. I also think the religion stuff, there are like probably 2 or 3 conversations in the movie about it. And I think it could be way more fleshed out. And I think that's the biggest element, that if Tony Kushner had written it, there would be so much more profound and nuanced discussion about religion and less of the exposition-y, action-y stuff.
So that's why I said about like both this is the most religious movie that Spielberg has ever written, and also this is a movie that requires you to kind of do your own homework because of those aspects. Yeah. It is specifically with that, because I think that is arguably the most interesting idea in this entire movie, and it's not
like 5 minutes.
It's not as much as I would have liked it to be in this movie. Now, granted, because the crux of this movie is just about like the truth is something that we are all entitled to and that we deserve a right to know no matter what the consequences are. I'm assuming that's just like Spielberg's belief for everything is like total transparency.
Yeah,
in
Mom.
all things in life, I just need complete transparency. I don't need anybody. I don't need our what's the Seth Rogen character in The Fablemans?
Yeah, exactly.
Uncle.
Yeah, that's what.
Yeah,
I swear to God, I've never been so sure of anything that he's that based in a child. He's such a child, you know. That's why he's the most interesting man.
Benny. Yeah, it's just like I need to know that Uncle Benny might be sleeping with my mom.
Yeah, just tell Mom. Tell me.
It's an emotional affair.
But it is just like it's one of those things where it's like I think that is just where Spielberg is coming down on that is the most interesting idea. And I don't necessarily know if that is the most interesting idea, like for me.
So
but that's where Stevie's coming down on it.
The religious stuff reminded me a lot of the Robert Zemeckis movie Contact. You guys ever seen Contact?
Yeah, that is a really interesting movie that doesn't totally work, I don't think. But I think it's aged pretty well. It has just because it's really heady. Like it's like mostly discussions about that.
Exactly. That's why I was bringing it up. Like the movie decides that it wants to be about this idea of belief and faith. And it just tackles it full on. And I think if you want a movie that really deals with that in a much more kind of, profound and existential way, I think, look to Contact. Great Jodie Foster performance. Kind of bad Matthew McConaughey performance.
When I saw it, that's why I didn't love it.
Yeah.
I think
it's not what you want.
He's not the guy.
Yeah. But it's still worth checking out. I do think that, beyond all these layers, to me, my biggest takeaway for what the core idea of this movie is, I think Steven Spielberg, like we were trying to get at before, is this idea of like sentimentality and empathy. Like empathy is just such a core idea in this movie. I think he wants us to see this metaphor of alien disclosure of the information and the abilities that the Emily Blunt character has of extreme empathy as being this representation of his gift as a filmmaker, right? That I really, really see that in this movie. And it's not so much like that the truth of the existence of aliens is the thing. It's more so this quest for empathy and compassion, right? And that if we can aim towards that, we will get the truth and then some.
Yeah.
Right.
Like that. And that is why, if you want to excuse the very end where Scanlon just sits down, it's because he
gives up. He gives over to
because he has been triggered by something empathetic. He's been reminded of his own humanity. Yeah. And so
this movie is a representation of it's a continuation of the themes of the Fablemans, right? It's the Judd Hirsch scene of like, this is a gift and a curse, this ability that we have as artists. As Emily Blunt makes her way through this movie and exerts her power, so does Steven Spielberg as a filmmaker in his career, inspiring awe and wonder and creating these magical moments for people throughout his filmmaking career. And he is trying to tell us that we can also tap into that magic and that power if we believe.
Well, and I think that like kind of piggybacking off of that thought is just like, as an artist that has the reach that he does, he feels a responsibility that he needs to, like, he feels like he is the Josh O'Connor character. He's like, I need to spread this to the world. Like, I can do this. And it's a little bit of like hero's myth that he's putting on himself, but he's fucking earned it because he's Steven Spielberg. So like, in many ways, he is the one that needs to be continuing to kind of push this message.
Or is he Hugo? I mean, he's Hugo too.
He's both. Yeah. He's a lot in both of them. He's seeking the control over it, but also he is just wanting to get this message out he's wanting to get as many people to see his films as possible and to, I think, like, to kind of take their own message from it. Like, I do think that is a point where the Josh O'Connor character is like maybe purposefully written ambiguously on his intentions is like, I just need people to get into this and people will read into this what they will, but they have a right to see this no matter what.
Clearly there's a lot going on in this movie. Like there's a little bit too much.
I know. And
here.
Again, it's such a dichotomy of like the best thing you've ever seen and then something that you're really bumping on. Mm-hmm. I think a great example of that comes right next, like chronologically, where he is across the way, you know, on the other side of the road trying to get a signal. And then he gets a call from Margaret and she's like, they're fucking coming. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Emily Blunt. That's one of my favorite moments for her. Yeah. And
he dove on Jane. Does this mean anything to you?
Yeah. And there is a really well shot sequence of, you know, him being behind all the action. It's so video gamey.
Real quick, backing up right before that's whenever we have the Collin Firth, like, fucking phase jumping into
such a good scene.
That is and I know a lot of that stuff was in like the trailers and everything like that, but goddamn does that scene just work.
This works
so well.
This is I think my favorite scene in the movie.
Yeah.
I saw it again and this was the scene where I was like, wow, boy is cooking.
It's really cool. And again, if we're talking about introducing original ideas, not that that's a must, this is really fucking original. Yeah. Like it is such a, like he has a device. I love the mouthpiece he puts in. Yeah. You know, it's like little details like that where it's like, yeah, they have like a you know, tenuous grasp on this technology enough to know kind of what to do.
They have also, like fucked up a couple of times.
No, exactly. They're not that good with it. Like there's a line where Hugo at one point is like, dude, you don't know what the fuck you're doing with that thing. Yeah. But not enough to fully get it. Like, you know, he's getting like physically hurt by doing all this.
He has a whole team of people like checking all his vitals.
Yeah. And just, I love the way that he is communicating. Again, I want to compliment David Koepp when he does good things. I like the way that he is. It's almost like when you're on the phone with someone, but you need the other people to understand what the person on the other end is saying. Yeah. You know what I mean? Where he's like, okay, what street sign did you say? And she says, and then he says it out loud. Yeah. You know, like that is
the people in the room.
It's just really clean stuff.
Yeah.
I love how they layer the religious part here. Like this is a demonic possession.
Yeah.
Through
the lens.
She gives herself a stigmata.
Yeah.
She's trying to break out of the possession.
It's awesome.
And she does it a couple times. Yeah. The way the eyes switch from brown to blue.
Oh, that's so cool.
To tell you when she's being possessed and when she's not. So it's like, it's a sci-fi alien take on a demonic religious possession.
And because it's so cool. It's him being there and then also taking over her body too. Yeah. Like or at least seeding the thoughts in her, which is incredible. And like that's so interesting.
And it manages to be two humans doing it. It's not about an alien doing it to anybody.
Yeah.
Like that's so sick. Well, it's perfect. You're so right. Like this is such an unbelievable scene.
It is like, because it's to kind of have a negative take on humanity is like we would find this like tool that could probably be used to like solve all world hunger, and we're just like, we should probably use this for violence so that she'll like kill her boyfriend, right? Like that's like that would be like what humans would do for this because we're fucking apes. Like
right. I love the way Firth is shot here. Like he keeps looking grosser as it goes on.
He looks like shit at one point. Yeah, like it's taking. I wanted I wanted that to be continued a little more because that through line I think would also explain where he ends up at the very end, where it's like, oh, he's dying. Mm-hmm. Like he's killing at one point, like when they're about to go into the warehouse where the house is being built, he like falls over and you're like, oh, this dude's not doing well.
Right.
You know, I did have that as a thought. I wonder if that is like there's some scenes or at least some parts on the script that were written more of that, of like it's giving him.
Yeah, it's like killing him. So at the very end, he's just like, whatever, fuck it, I don't care anymore.
Again, a lot packed in.
Yeah. So that part rocks.
Then he gets in the car, he crashes into the tree. So then into the house.
This initial sequence speaks toward the sort of dichotomy of the movie, where if you're willing to buy in and just like enjoy how it's shot, the whole him like going behind all these cars and getting in the car, it's shot so cool. It's like a video game. It rocks. If you are thinking a little too hard about it, it becomes bad. And a lot of people hate this fucking sequence because it's like he's right there and he's being so loud. The sound design is not like
sneaky.
Yes, Steven is not.
He's cranking it up.
He's not making it into like an adult legible action sequence.
Yeah.
It's like he's over.
All the cops leave both sides of their doors open.
Yeah, the cars are open
and the keys.
Yeah, the keys right there in the car.
And they're just, you know, he has this problem in a few movies where just like all the goons are just like acting as one, facing one way. He did Minority Report's a problem.
Yeah.
Hey, fucking Indiana Jones. Like,
I was gonna say,
that's part of what
I know.
is.
It's just that is a great encapsulation of like, if you're willing to just enjoy what's there, like it's so cool. But if not, you're gonna bump on it. Like, and people really did. And I kind of got it. The guy next to me hated that sequence in the screening. And I still enjoyed it, but I was like, I get where you're coming from.
This guy was.
Friend of the show, Brett, went to the screening with us. He pointed out that the house looked like it was built to have a car drive through it. Like you can kind of tell, like, oh yeah, it's like just exactly like you can almost see the track for the car.
It's like a map on like Tony Hawk Pro Skater. We're like, wow, really friendly skating architecture in this city.
So they're in the car, and my boy is absolutely fucking cooking with this reflection on the knife shot. Like it's very obviously like CGI, but Steven knows like when to deploy these scenes, and obviously like the framing and the blocking. Of
And the rearview mirror. Stuff,
all of that
with her eyes switching
rocks.
It's fucking awesome. It's harrowing too. When they switch, you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, like she's about to fucking stab him in the neck.
They end up, you know, at a cliffside
in what is it? In Diana? Oh, the cliff.
No.
Oh,
The cliff. The cliff moment. It's another one that's kind of like that video game moment from earlier, where like all of the goons get there and immediately just run straight to the cliffside and don't turn either way.
No, they're staying at rock like 8 feet away,
right there, and it's like.
They didn't just like run further away. They're like, no. This is a big enough boulder. We can both hide behind this, and nobody will find here.
So again, if you're willing to just like buy in, then you're like, yeah, fuck yeah. These moments reminded me a lot of E.T. All the moments where the mom doesn't quite see E.T., but it's like that. A, those are played for laughs.
Yeah,
that's a big piece of it. And B, it's a kid thing. Like you know what I mean? Like it's goofy. This
is a goofy movie.
So that moment did bug me. Like in the moment, I was like, this is like. It feels a little lazy.
This is an extremely goofy movie.
Yeah.
But whatever. We move on. The movie just keeps going. Like you don't have, you don't have time to get hung up on shit.
So then we get to in Diana.
Yeah.
The little motel that they're in. And then I laughed during this scene because it's like, okay, he's going through all this work to like put away all the stuff that's visible that says like the name of the inn.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, you can't trust me.
You
gotta do what you gotta do with this robe. And I keep thinking like, okay, he's gonna blindfold her.
Nope. Ties her hands. The one thing that has the logo on it is the thing that he's holding a foot away from her.
Yeah.
She just bumps him and he's like, what?
Whoa.
Here you go.
Yeah, but then you get a really good Collin Firth moment there where he's like, got him.
That was funny.
And he wakes up and he's like, that was fucking funny. Got his ass.
Yeah, but again, it's another kind of goofy one where like at that point in the movie, if you're already being bugged, you're like, okay, Jesus.
Yeah.
But
and if you've bought in, then it's like, okay, well,
yeah, you're like, we're watching a fun movie.
It's good. I want the chase to continue. This is a chase movie. I want our characters to kind of stay on the move here.
Yeah.
So she gets away with the device.
Mm-hmm.
He gets captured.
This is, by the way, by this point, we've now seen this driver character multiple times. The guy who's on Hugo's team. I don't.
He looks like the guy from the other two. I kept thinking
he looks like a million guys. He reminded me of Rami Youssef.
Yes.
I kept thinking
actually
like
the very first second I was like, is that Rami? And then he talked. Yeah. I was like, that's not.
But that's another funny moment where it cuts. It cuts straight to him, and he's like, they're fucked. Like
they're burned. Yeah,
they're burned.
And then I think we go back to we kind of skipped over Emily Blunt and Wyatt Russell escaping the hospital. That is a great little sequence.
Again, every time we're with them, it's like, God damn.
Another awesome shot of her like looking at the guy, at the not FBI guy, and her reflection is in the window that she's looking at him, and both of their heads are overlaid on top of each other. Yeah. And so many moments where I'm like, let's go. Dude.
Yeah. And she is acting the fuck out of all this. Like I really, really hope that this doesn't get downplayed and she ends up like getting Globes and not Oscars. I want her to get the fucking Oscar.
she's not going to win because genre never wins. But
her net rating in this movie, the amount she's like
Michael B won last year, but when specifically like actresses never win.
I know they're
like
all
lead actresses.
Yeah, they're in the movies called like the wife of the next window.
But I do think I do think Globes are very highly likely at this point, and I think that an Oscar nom is definitely possible.
Come on,
I mean, like I think that she plays Manic so well.
Yeah.
Like
It's
Manic better than like
incredible.
almost anybody that I've ever seen.
it's right on the line of like you totally understand Wyatt Russell.
Yeah.
Because she's not communicating well, but it's because she's scared and confused.
Yeah.
She doesn't understand it either.
She's experiencing like everything.
She's taking charge of the
Yeah,
situation.
she's possessed. Like it's a possession thing.
Yeah.
She's playing like 10 different dynamics in every single scene. It's fucking amazing.
The running over the car bit.
She gets them out of there. Yeah. Runs over the phone.
Yeah. Or
running over the phone is great.
Wyatt Russell's being funny the whole time, just doing the exact same one joke over and over, being like,
Are you gonna need a lawyer?
what the crap? It is funny. It is funny. It's very enjoyable.
Then you get to the gas station where he leaves her.
She leaves him.
She leaves him.
Yeah.
Sorry, yeah.
This is the first time that we get a real sense of the apocalypse is happening, like World War III is happening. People are like freaking the fuck out of this
They're
gas
like,
station.
I gotta get Fritos.
Like, and again, like speaking toward, there's just a lot going on. You're like, oh yeah. Also World War III. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I totally remember that was going on.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
our main characters do not give a fuck.
no, they there's like it's like a fucking ADR line. It might as well be, where it's just like, oh wow,
Well,
everyone's freaking out here.
Lee missed it entirely. She turned to me. She was like, "What's happening? Why are people freaking out?"
Again, watching twice, you get to sink in a little more.
Yeah.
And
You're not as caught up in like the mystery of it.
yeah,
I'm sure.
one thought I had was this is a really rare case where like there's more than enough here for this to be a miniseries.
Spielberg would never do it.
No, of course, but like story wise, like if you want to do all this,
dude,
like
the Coleman Domingo episode would go so fucking hard.
Exactly.
I want to see his backstory.
Dude.
That shot of him like connecting with the alien at the end that you just see in a tiny little screen.
Dude.
I'm like,
100%. If we're shooting this like Station 11 style, where like every character, every other episode, a new character gets an episode, fuck me. But anyway,
man.
So we're moving real quick. Like they're doing all this, and then we're cutting across, and like Josh O'Connor's on the run. Everyone's on the run all at once.
Well, she meets up with where they're holding Josh O'Connor in like this little trailer thing, and that's when she's able to be like, I have the power.
Yeah.
I can do this. I can maneuver my way into anything, into any situation. I think the only time we don't see her use her power in that specific way is when she tells the coworker to escape the abusive husband. But pretty much every other time, it's just like, I am trying to get through these obstacles.
No, yeah. I mean,
to get out of situation.
During that first sequence, she has like 3 or 4 of those with the news team, like where she helps the South Korean guy, just to help. And then like her like the floor manager with that guy, guy who like, he's that guy who fucking rocks.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, she's like, hey, your son, he's a good boy and he really needs you there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she doesn't know she's saying any of this, but she gets into the trailer.
Colin Firth sees his wife as her.
It's Firth and the goon, the gooner. And so Firth sees his wife and he's like, I forgive you. Like, this is never mind.
Let her go. Let her do whatever she wants. Mm-hmm. They're all amazed by her.
She's
and
going.
Then there's these.
Except for my boy Henry Lloyd Hughes as Casper Boyd.
That's the only person.
That's the goon who's just like, I gotta fucking kill this lady because I don't see her as anything.
And the moment when she connects with Josh O'Connor, when they're like, I know you.
Oh yeah,
that's like.
That's a beautiful
good
moment.
Little moment that sets up what happens later with the revelation of everything that happened when they were kids.
Yeah. And again, we're cramming in so much shit that like it takes a minute for it to click with you. We're like, okay. No, they were together. Okay, I get it. You know what I mean? Like it's just a lot of plot wise. And also the fact that they're supposed to be the same age is a fucking joke.
Yeah.
That's awful. But
I don't know about that.
One is 43.
Josh O'Connor is like what 30, 36.
They read 10 years apart.
Yeah.
It's like because he is so boyish and just she looks great with the amount of work she's had done. You know what I mean?
She's in her 40s.
It doesn't.
You know, it's yeah.
But yeah. Anyway,
they walk out together.
When
they just walk out, every single person.
This is another
sees a meaningful loved one in her.
This is another big, like yes or no moment.
Yeah,
for the audience.
It's a leap of faith.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if you're bought in already, you could be vibing with this in the same way, like the fucking Children of Men walking scene, where it's like people are witnessing a miracle.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone is, feeling that amount of like goosebumps watching this part, but like if you're not bought in, you're like, what the fuck is going on right now?
I did wonder, why did not one person think like, wait, we should keep her because she's my dead daughter. And I don't want her to leave.
It's all, it's the MacGuffin of it all,
Yeah.
where like she could be telepathically telling all these people like fuck off.
Well, that's kind of what almost I was taking as is like I'm taking something that you recognize and is safe, and I'm telling you just let me go.
Yeah.
Like it is, she's doing like multiple things kind of all at once.
Well, this is the full Spielberg face scene.
Yeah.
Like every single interaction here is just Spielberg, like just cranking it all the way.
Yeah.
Like
and it's
every single close up is just like, you are being Spielberg faced right now.
And you also have to extrapolate like you do with a few things in the movie, where you have to be like, because we're seeing anyone that she makes eye contact with, she's doing this thing with, but that's like 4 people. There are like 50 people who are getting out of the way. So it's like, I'm just assuming that tangentially anyone near her is being affected in this way. Because otherwise they're just NPCs, which Spielberg does have a problem with.
And that's
I was
why,
gonna say again, they are always like looking at the same. They're hive mind all the time,
and that's why we don't see what they see in that moment. Like we only see what they see when they're having their individual moments. But as she's walking out, we just see her. Because I did also wonder, like, why didn't he throw in other people in that moment of her walking out to kind of sell it? That could have been kind of cool.
Yeah.
They get away. They stop to have a chat by a train. Just like, oh, we just got away.
By the way, hey, speed up.
Yeah.
They could have gotten over.
Like,
They
are you following traffic rules right now? Are you kidding?
You guys are on the run.
Yeah.
Like maybe get over the tracks perhaps and then have a chat.
Hey, again, to go back to Fablemans, Spielberg always wanted to see what would happen if a car drove into a train. Like literally,
dude, I didn't even think of
it's one of the main things in the Fablemans that was like his thing that fascinated him about the movies.
The greatest show on earth.
And what's in the train car when the flighty woman is having a panic attack?
The pianos.
Very similar to the way he characterizes his own mother.
Yeah.
The pianist. It's crazy shit. It's so funny. It's really funny.
So sociopath homeboy decides he's going to ram into the car.
Yeah.
Which is going to ram into the moving train.
Again, to go back to our favorite sociopath, Casper Boyd, just like his plan was like, well, nobody wants to believe me for just like capturing these guys. I guess I just have to fucking murder them now.
No, he's pissed that he didn't see anything.
He realized like something about himself.
I don't have anyone I love. Oh,
he has like a wife and 3 kids. And he's just like, oh shit.
His life flashed before his eyes and he saw nothing except for like the cliff of.
Or what if he
emptiness.
what if he sees like his homeboy and he's like, whoa, what the hell?
He saw Hugo and he's like, shit, no, I can't unpack that in this movie
Scanlan.
right now.
He sees an alien. He saw the
alien. Like, oh fuck.
It's like, I love the alien.
Fuck. And the alien's like.
It's So
this scene is fucking awesome.
It's nuts.
The train, like the car being rammed into the train. There's a couple shots where you can kind of tell that they're not a real car.
No, but you know what? This is the difference of like why you shouldn't always judge a movie how it's going to look based off of the trailer versus the movie itself in a big fucking movie theater. Because this shot of the car getting driven into the train and them jumping and everything is in the trailer. And in the trailer, I thought, that doesn't look great. I'm kind of worried about like whatever that's going to be in this movie. And then in the big Dolby screen projection,
you're in it.
I bought it. I bought it.
Well, it's also because the whole movie, like leading up to it, And the idea
context is key.
And the idea that, you know, Emily Blunt is just a weather lady, you know, like she's just trying her best to figure out what the fuck is going on with her. Now she's being rammed into a train. Like the character part of it is so important so that when you have this moment where she has to jump because the other train is coming, you are thrilled, absolutely fucking thrilled. And then they get into the train car. And dude, this scene got me. This scene, it fucking got me because it's a moment that like forces you to slow down. Like this movie's so breakneck and you're just being kind of shoved all of this crazy plot. And now here's a person having a reaction to surviving an action set piece. When was the last time you saw that in a movie?
Yeah.
Like usually
she's
people are
like,
well, that was crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Blunt
having a panic attack.
Yeah. And she has a good amount of that. Like later when they're in the car and she's like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. You know, like she is reckoning with how crazy this all is. It makes the movie way more credible.
Well, it's because she hasn't had this moment up to this point in the movie. And it took her like almost dying for her to just be like, what the fuck is going on right now?
Yeah.
Like,
and
that
like
was the breaking.
You know, and like is this Parkinson's? It's just like my dad. Like that works.
Yeah.
And that is, again, come on, that's an Oscar scene. Let's go. I'm not saying this just because I drafted it in our.
I was going to say,
touching the piano to ground yourself. Like I got a little welled up. I got a little teared up there because
that all works.
You know, they have this connection. You don't know the full context of it, of exactly how they're connected, but you know they are. And he's there for her to make sure that she makes it through this. And he tells her to put her hands on the piano to sort of ground herself. There's air in the room. You're going to make it through this. Beautiful scene. Beautiful, beautiful scene.
It speaking toward the editor, Sarah Brochard, like you said, it's airy, particularly at the very end of it. There is like 1.5 seconds of silence before the cut. It was really jarring. Like after the first watch, I wrote that down. Yeah, because I was like, whoa, it's just quiet right now. And also it's a movie scored by John Williams, who isn't necessarily known for letting things breathe. Right. You know what I mean? And it's dead quiet. So
then are we at the news state? Or no, Invisible House.
Invisible House. Yeah, we have me up with Hugo.
Yeah, we have to do the rehearsal.
We had to
before we get to the news station.
At this point, Scanlon has already dropped in on him, by the way, which is a really
I love this scene.
It's a really sick scene. It logically don't think about it too hard. Because it's great just because it's two phenomenal actors acting back and forth. Yeah. And it's just finally Coleman Domingo acting. It's the first scene that he's truly acted, and I'd say he's one of our 10 best fucking actors we have.
He rocks.
So good.
We get a lot of another like lore drop unlocked here. We get a lot of information. The second time, I think I got like double the amount of information.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like
the first time,
I
realized
it's too dense.
What was happening?
It's so dense that the second time you're like, oh Jesus, like you're like, okay, so he worked under him, he betrayed him. You know what I mean? Like you get such a better sense of how they knew each other beforehand.
I didn't realize that the names of the aliens were Vivo. Like the Vivo numbers.
Yes.
Vivo?
It's you find out in that scene that he had abducted an alien. If you don't glean that from that scene, at the very end when he pulls up with an alien, you're like, what the hell?
Yeah, where the fuck did that alien come from?
It feels stupid.
And you start piecing together all this backstory of like the relationship that he must have built with the alien, the fact that they can't communicate with the alien, right? Because they don't have the ability that Emily Blunt and Josh O'Connor has, because there's only ever two. There was always only two.
Yeah, and there's a great moment where Scanlon is like, oh, did the alien tell you to do that? And he's like, not in a way that you'd understand.
Right.
You know what I mean? He does. Yeah. Like he has a profound understanding, even though he hasn't been touched by them.
I wanted so much more from this. Like
it's frustrating.
It's especially on rewatch, it is just a little bit disappointing that we didn't go deeper into this part of the story. Cause I'm like, man,
that's Coleman Domingo.
What happened with this character?
That's Coleman Domingo, man.
When Coleman Domingo puts his hand on Collin Firth at the end there, I'm like, there is a story here that we're just not seeing.
I think that you were right, Drew, that like this almost deserves to be a mini series because there is so much more. Here's the thing is that like, I know Spielberg has a thing where like Spielberg's hard cap is like 2 hours, 25 minutes. Like he does not make a movie that goes beyond 2.5 hours.
This movie must be that long, right?
It's 2 hours.
Edge.
It's 225.
Oh,
It is 145 minutes. It is, but that is like, this is a beefy Spielberg movie. Most Spielberg movies are like 210 or so. But like this is a movie where I'm like, give me 3 hours of this. Like I'm okay with just getting more of this, of having more, because whenever you have a movie like this, you run into a little bit of a minutes problem. Like, not to make like a basketball analogy, but there's only so many like total minutes to go around here, and you're making a sci-fi story. So you do have to have at least a certain amount of exposition dialogue is going to have to be in there no matter what. But then if you're trying to also layer in all these themes in there, you're trying to actually put some depth to your characters having there just isn't enough time to go around for all of these different ideas.
The movie's called Disclosure Day. Like you are waiting, you're
for
sitting
the disclosure day.
You are sitting there waiting for the disclosure day. And if you're waiting over 2 hours for it, I think that's like probably a big problem with the movie is just basically what you're saying, the allocation of time.
And the fact, you're right. I think I don't know when the exact moment is, but like by probably an hour into the movie, you know where they're going to end up. You know they're heading to KCXE. And
it's
so
both a good thing and a bad thing that you get the alien clip at the beginning, because it's good that they're not just like saving all the alien shit for the end. Like you have the proof of concept of like it does exist. But again, you know where we're going now at this point.
And so like it makes, obviously, like you have to just like enjoy the ride with any movie. And so it's not like it ruins everything, but like, it is sort of like all of these set pieces are really great and all, but I know the end product. I know the exact building everyone in this movie is going to end up in all at once. And so maybe cut some of that stuff. I know it's all cool. But like when they're in Indiana, like is that scene necessary?
Do we need
it is for the
stop?
It is for the plot, but we can work around that if we really need to, because I don't want to cut out the religious angle. I think that's really interesting. However, if we're trying to make room for stuff, and again, particularly for fucking Hugo, like something's got to go here. Yeah. Like it is egregious.
I think that's kind of where I'm at with, and I don't know, maybe it's like my idea is like, can we mesh the Kellner stuff with his girlfriend Eve stuff like together? Like, can we just make that one character
so
like
Kellner was once in the church?
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Can we get, and not to just
everything
not
better.
To rehash Wake Up Dead Man of like Josh O'Connor as a man of the cloth, but like honestly, I think that gives you like 10 minutes of screen time back. But then again, how do we have our boy Collin Firth like force projecting in, like who is he talking to? I can't lose that scene either. So
it's
you
hard.
do run into a little bit of a problem of like
but I think you can work around that stuff.
I do think so too. I think I agree with you, because it's like, where is the fat? Where is like the thinner characters? Can we meld a couple of them together, make some more like amalgamations, and then spend more time on the themes of this movie? Because the themes of this movie are so good. And like the characters of this movie are both thin, but I don't even want to call them thin. I want to call them underwritten more than thin, because I think that they have like the Hugo character is very rich, but we're just on the surface the whole time with that character.
Exactly. And so it's frustrating. Again, I mentioned earlier, at some point in all this mess, we get the phone call between Eve Hewson and Elizabeth Marvel. Yeah. Where she's in a diner. She has the device. It's one of those things that you just have to remember, because at the very end of the movie, when she pops up with it, you're like, oh yeah, of course. It's very they came together. The end of it where they're like explaining why everyone's there. Like
my ex-boyfriend, he got out of
she
prison.
comes in like with the goons, and she's like, here. Like it's like, wait, what? Oh shit. So that phone call for me is like goosebumps. Like thinking about it is, and it's because of Elizabeth Marvel, man.
That little smirk she
even
gives
though it doesn't
on Earth.
The smile is exactly. And again, if you think about it too hard, why is Elizabeth Marvel immediately like, oh, you're talking about aliens? Yeah, for sure. Like, just don't think about that part. Just enjoy the performance.
Yeah.
The performance is so fucking, she's in a minute of the movie and I think she's so indelible.
I do also, it is funny because that you brought up the aliens thing, because I, on a similar note, had the thought of, because I did not forget about World War III happening. That was kind of just something that was playing in my head the whole time. So my thought was like, hey, don't these nuns have like a lot more going on right now than like dealing with like, oh, there might be a mysterious plot about aliens happening right now. Like, aren't they just like their doors flooded with like, hey, can you please save me? Because we're all about to die in like nuclear warfare right now.
I mean, they're in the same church as the one in fucking the Last Knives Out movie where like no one goes there ever.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Yeah. It's just Jeremy Renner.
It's just
And he's very pro nuclear war.
Yeah.
That's really
he's
good.
ready.
That's really good for business.
But
For him.
sadly, he was right about all the alien stuff. Yeah. So rehearsal house. So
We're in the house.
We get this really great, another great Emily Blunt.
Yeah,
scene
because
where
she's still freaking the fuck out.
she's reacting to everyone waiting there for her. And another moment that just gave me goosebumps is her like looking at every single person.
And of course you're Gerald.
Knowing
And
them,
you're Emily.
looking at them like
It's so Spielberg-y. It's all Spielberg face.
I got fucking goosebumps here, man, because I'm just thinking like we have lost this. Like we live in a society in which like we are afraid of each other. We don't want to look at each other. We want to avoid each other. We believe that we are out to hurt each other because we are, because there is proof that a huge majority section of this country wants to inflict pain on
this
your
country,
fellow
this
human.
world.
Yeah, but I'm talking specifically about America. Like,
Friggin' North Korea, man. There's really, it's only them.
And yes, you can fling all these descriptions at this movie and all of it, and say that it's naive for Spielberg to think that there is still hope for us, but he believes that there might, and he thinks that is the empathy machine, the superpower that he wants to share with the world, is being able to look at each person in the eye and know them and care about them and feel that empathy, that compassion. And it's a beautiful little scene.
So at the same time, I also love that she's won't look at Hugo.
Right.
She's like,
you're not Steven Spielberg. You're the director of this movie.
Yeah. I mean, it's a little on the nose because she literally is like, you're the guy who knows everything.
Yeah.
But it's true. She's like, I'm not ready for all that shit. Like you know too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just.
Yeah. Don't tell me about Seth Rogen. I don't want to know.
It's cool.
Uncle Benny.
It's cool stuff. Really quick, the issue I was talking about earlier with when Scanlan drops in on Hugo is afterward, because he sees the two people, who like walk in the room, and like Hugo's acting like, oh shit, oh fuck, he saw them. And then Scanlan comes out of it and he's like, got him, they already had a list of 12 people. And those two people, he's like, check their cell phones, check where they are. You didn't already do that? It takes 2 seconds.
All 12 cell phones.
It's so stupid.
I did clock that too, because you do see all of their faces on the wall on one of the mini screens behind them earlier on in the movie.
You already know they're all there, but you're like, I definitely saw those two. Where are they? Like that is.
Does he
that's
really
the one
check
moment in the
their
movie
cell
that, like,
location? Is that how he finds them?
That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the one David. Well, it gives them a general location and then they heat signature the warehouse.
Yeah.
So that's fine and all. It's just that moment of him being like, this is a big piece of information. That's the only moment where it's like an actual failure by David Koepp to like make something make sense.
Well,
I gotta ask though. I mean, if all of our homies were like planning on leaving, they have to know like rule number 1, as we have established in this world, is like,
no cell
you got to
phones.
destroy your phone.
I know.
Yeah.
Destroy your phone before you leave the fucking your work.
I know, but even then,
Even
then, it's just like, I don't want to get into it.
Well, you had to like catch some cool like World Cup memes
it's
before
just like,
you like went no contact
with all 12 of those people. We could never have gotten through all that, but in 1 second, we can check these two. That is so stupid.
One other thing that bothered me, since you brought up like the thermal imaging, is like they show the thermal imaging of when they're all invisible, and they're like, well, we're just going to put away the device that lets us see the thermal imaging. We're just going to fall over.
So listen, watching
what?
it,
That didn't make any sense.
watching it the second time, I was like, is the thermal imaging? I'm actually pretty sure the thermal imaging is showing them.
I don't think so, dude.
Because Emily Blunt is like, they cannot sense any of us.
No, because they say like, look, there's people here. Like they hold up the device and they're like, look, they're here.
Yes. But like
Go
also,
'em.
yeah, just
I really
like
want it to be what I said though.
No. But I'm just saying, just like walk with it. It's just like,
Yeah.
hey, there's a guy. Oh, I've got you. Like,
Yeah. But then you don't get the really fun, silly moments of all these guys falling over invisible shit, which is fun.
And that stuff that reminded me a lot of Hook.
Yeah,
all the invisible stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like classic fun, goofy shit that he's doing.
It's Indiana Jones too.
Yeah.
You know?
And some of it, it's like tonally funny because it's like, this is a really, really important moment and we're getting a little goofy right now.
Yeah.
But like, I had fun.
Yeah. I mean, it's
very inventive. Is the thing about all of that is like seeing like people behave like they're getting like rammed by a car, but it's invisible is just, it's fun.
We got to back up a second because the reason why she's able to do this is because she did the rehearsal, right? She went all the way into her memory that she didn't want to go into because they built her house, and she's able to experience this moment of, I guess, the trauma of being abducted by aliens.
We get the shot of the little alien fingies on her head.
This is all
her little baby head.
This is really interesting stuff because again, it's requiring us to fully be locked in and understanding that, okay, this actually, as it turns out, has happened to both of them, Josh O'Connor and her. But Hugo thought it was only her, and so he's created this all for her. But now Josh O'Connor is also reliving it. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's just
Josh O'Connor's like, I also am involved.
Yeah, it's just in the moment, it's just complicated to keep track of all that. But again, second viewing, you get it, and then it's better. This is imagery that was used very heavily in the trailer, and it is, a lot of people were very concerned based off that, particularly with the exterior shot of the animals walking up to the house, because it's very sort of soft lens and it's very CG heavy and it's very fairy tale intentionally, as it turns out. Like it's supposed to look like that. The one thing I want to talk about this is a big hang up people have. The animals. Here's what I'll say. There are a lot of people who are, I think, too forgiving of the way the animals look because they're like, yes, but it's supposed to be like how, it's the aliens giving the children a cartoon version of an animal.
No.
And it's like, no, because the aliens would not give these children like pretty good CG animals to look at. Like,
I think the bird looks good and the deer looks bad. I think it's like kind of that simple for me.
Exactly.
That's one of them looks good.
I think people are giving a way too much credit by saying that because why would you make one be photorealistic and then the fox looks so shitty or whatever? Like that doesn't make any sense just because it's a projection of what the kids would want to look like. The kids wouldn't want to see a decent CG fox that when it walks looks wonky. That's not the purpose of that. The purpose of that is just like it's harder to use real animals in movies now. Yeah. Like you're giving Spielberg a little too much rope there.
Not everyone's Dr. Doolittle over here. They use the real animals in that one, right?
Can you
sure
the Eddie Murphy one?
The Eddie Murphy one, yes. Doolittle, the Robert Downey Jr. movie, no, definitely not.
Could you not composite some fucking animal shots? Like it really bugged me with the fox in particular because the cardinal looks totally fine.
Hey, in Superman, could we not just get a real fucking dog?
I know, but
how about that?
Here's the thing, though. That dog is like flying.
But you can still just have a dog for some of the other shots.
I know, but like this fox is standing and walking. Like get a fox. Like what are you doing? It drove me crazy, and that is one critique that I think people are overcorrecting by acting like it's all on purpose. It's not. Anyway,
I think I like this sequence. Again, I'm just like, for me, I am a little bit like, I've tried to consciously uncouple seeing before every Eastern Western Conference and finals game this preview, because like this is something that's like it wasn't a surprise for me seeing that like she's gonna go back to her childhood and see like re-experience this. Like,
yeah, you're waiting for it.
I'm trying to almost like put myself in the mindset of I'm going to watch this movie for the first time in 10 years from now. And what does that person think from this? It's me going back and watching AI now. Like, how would I react to this? And in that way, I do think that this works. I think that this scene is too quick. Is kind of my big thing. Is
I mean, most of the scenes in the movie are pretty.
This feels like this should be some big revelation. Give me 12 minutes there, of like her like really like living through her childhood and like experiencing something like what's her home life like before? Like, did the aliens come to choose her for some other reason? Like, is there? Well, I just need a little bit more out of this.
That's actually a great idea. Give me a little scene of her.
What
are her parents like?
Exactly. Like, what is that? Like, you talk about like your dad is died of Parkinson's young, but like, what was your home life like? I just want something more than this, but it all
it's like everything in her room, like it like things are like nailed on the wall, like crooked and stuff.
She's in the Sid from Toy Story room.
Jesus.
She was like danger room.
So I think that is an awesome idea.
It's a totally fair.
I think that is an incredible.
But again,
critique.
It goes back to the minute allocation of like
you got to keep moving.
Just isn't enough time in this movie.
I mean, I could have used more from the Josh O'Connor kid. Like,
hey,
we get half a second.
That kid, we get nothing from. Like, that kid might as well just not even be around.
While you were gone, I was saying this, that like it is really the first time you watch it, it's kind of hard to grasp. Like, also, you're like, oh yeah, also he was there. You know, like it's like, but Hugo has built this all just for her.
Someone on Twitter said that the way he's screaming, like, no, don't go, they're not animals. It's like he definitely got touched by those aliens.
Well, that also
they diddled him.
And that also does sort of, I mean, that is sort of like a general issue. Is that like,
are these aliens good?
What they did to the kids is like pretty scary.
Yeah.
Like when you're watching it, they're like, when the shot of them grabbing the face, I get why you include it because it's great imagery. And it's like, in the trailer, you're like, oh shit, are these like bad aliens? But yeah, the whole movie, we're being led to believe that these aliens like lead with empathy and their message is true and positive.
Here's the thing. How do they even know like what's a good part to touch and what's a bad part to touch on a kid?
Oh my God.
I don't want to go there.
Oh my God.
I don't want to go there. But I'm just saying of like, if we're talking about like investigating the aliens, maybe the aliens touched a no-no spot. And we don't
because they don't have anything down there.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
When we see the big one, it's beyond
clothes.
There, right?
Yeah.
Can we get a crotch shot? Can we zoom in? Can we go back?
I think that they're just like a gray pasty abyss down there.
Yeah. I think they replicate with eggs.
That's really fucked up.
This is just like Rocky. This is just like Rocky and Project Hail Mary. It's an egg thing.
Like, do you think this is why Wyatt Russell's ready to leave? Because he's like, you've never let me touch you. Oh, so I don't know what the fuck happened to you. Like he's telling the doctor something happened to this girl because she is.
Yeah. She only comes to one of my 2 weekly.
Somebody
sets.
like gets like a peek in. They're like, it's the most action I've seen in weeks.
Yeah. So
months.
Yeah, it's a bit muddled because O'Connor is just there also, and it's not enough is done to establish that, and so you're kind of catching up in the moment, and it doesn't feel well fleshed out. That's fair, even though it's like. I like the idea of it being a fairy tale house, of it being Hansel and Gretel, and it being something that made them sort of like forget their childhoods in a way. Yeah. I think that's all really cool.
And that ripples out to the whole movie.
Well,
like
and
the
also,
whole movie kind of becomes like this fairy tale thing.
Well, and it's also, her singing what is the song from that she sings?
It almost starts as like When You Wish Upon a Star.
Then
it's something else.
It's another big one though. I think it's not from Pinocchio. It's from another. Damn it. I wish I remembered. But like, again, it's a direct Close Encounters thing of her singing a Disney song and like being in a fucking fairy tale house. It's our goat is like pulling from our goat. Mm-hmm. I think that's really cool.
And I love the little bit where, you see adult Emily Blunt and she's like, I guess fully understood her trauma.
Yeah. And then
confronted it.
And then Josh O'Connor's like, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I
also went through that trauma with you.
Yeah, that was fucked up. We're the same age.
and the camera like zooms all the way into her eye, and you get this really cool like ripple effect in her eye, letting you know that like she's become super powered.
I also want to say, for all the shit I said about the CG animals, I love the trailer shot of the deer, panning across, becoming the alien eye. I think that rules. Exactly. I love the way the alien looks. It's really textured.
It's very classic. It's very good.
I love it.
I like that. I like the bird. Cardinal looks great.
Yeah, it looks like a fucking bird.
I think the cardinal is like that is good CG.
It's also just a cool idea because sometimes I look at birds and I'm like, what you got?
I have a cardinal that comes and visits me at my my window in my home office all the time.
If I take enough drugs and I stare at a cardinal, will I be able to read minds?
You'll say like, no, don't touch me.
They're not animals. Don't go.
Yeah, like what? Why does he say that?
That's again. There's just like so many things where I'm like, what is the 3-hour cut? There has to be something more.
I don't know.
It's literally just so Coleman Domingo can come in and be like, they only present as animals to harm us. That's the only reason.
You're right. Like literally, you're right. 100%.
But why does he deliver it like that?
He made a choice, man. I don't know.
I mean, that's a shitty
Spielberg
fucking
was
line.
probably taking a shit during that scene when they shot it. They're like, all right, we got to move on.
AD was on set that day.
That's an awful line. That's a bad line. That's why. Anyway, we're talking about a movie we really like, by the way.
Yeah.
So this is why I think this movie's so fascinating. Like I knew this would be a long pod.
So we're getting into the end.
So then you get Invisible House, and then we get to the
station.
The station.
KCFC.
I don't want to do the thing of like the cinema sense thing of like talking about like all the problems with this. But this is like the thing where it's like, if you're going to poke holes with this movie, I can at least like acknowledge that they exist, of like the fate of World War III will be resolved because of a news station broadcast in Kansas City. On like local news.
I mean, we don't know
that's just going to go to.
They're still going to bomb each other.
That's what I was going to say. I think this is crucial, and I think that so many haters are missing this point that doesn't happen in the movie. Every single person is like, "Oh, cool! So that's just going to save everything." I don't know. Yeah. We don't know.
They're like, "Oh, aliens." That doesn't happen. Okay, this is an even better time to bomb.
This is a movie about people. This is a movie about people who believe that will happen. And how believing that is, and even if it doesn't work, the idea of making that happen is important, I think.
I think that part of that's right. And I do also, on the other hand, think that part of that is a little bit of I don't want to call it the lazy way out, but like it is a little bit of like it's fence sitting.
No, I get what you're saying for sure.
And I'm not necessarily even saying that like I wholly 100% agree with that, but it's just the way that is all presented. And this is coming from somebody who like the moment that you're seeing the alien broadcast go out to the world, it got me. It like had my chest do a little fluttering. Like it fucking worked on me.
Let's talk about this sequence in general. I mean, I agree with you though. You're right. Like you can't excuse it all away. I think that everyone is like, oh, so that fixes everything. Not necessarily.
No, I don't necessarily. No,
there's not a scene of Kim Jong-un being like, sorry, everybody.
I was going to get at,
like that happens in the movie.
Yeah.
Where I was going to get at was more than even the actual very end is this like very like perfectly crafted way of how we're going to sneak in a live alien and also like take over the newsroom.
It's
really quick. Well, no, just like we're gonna lock some stuff up.
Every character in the whole movie shows up, and it feels silly. It totally feels silly.
You also have to buy, again, leap of faith. The movie, you have to buy that every single person working at this station is going to be like, yeah, of course, whatever you say. Like, not one person is going to be like, wait.
I know.
What's going on? Like, why am I doing this?
Well, so, hey, you know who says that 100 times, though?
Boyd of the newsroom.
The director says that as he's doing it, though. Mm-hmm. You know, that's why I think it's credible.
Yeah, you're right. There is like
she looks at him and she tells him what to do. And he's like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? You know, like.
They're being mind controlled.
And he is their boss. And so they're all doing it.
Yeah.
And I think that and I ran this through with my girlfriend, you know, because she worked in news. I think that all of the stuff in like the control room where Josh O'Connor runs all the clips, that all felt really credible to me in a way that I wasn't expecting, where he's like, what are your open channels? They're like X, Y, and Z, you know, like that all was,
he's like cut to 3.
Yeah. That all just felt,
6.
that felt like a good middle ground between like, you know, like it's complicated, but not too complicated for audience. I think I could talk about for an hour, Courtney Grace, she's a former news broadcaster.
The movie just clears out.
Who's now an actress. And she, first of all, it is an audacious choice for the movie for its most important 3 minutes to cut to a character we don't know, we have not seen in the movie. And she is now narrating the movie.
Yeah.
And the performance, this is why, you know, when we talk about, I wish there was an Oscar category for like single scene actor or like a cameo almost. Like she made me want to cry. Like it was another goosebump thing where it's like
extremely believable.
It was so real. It is so much more compelling than the natural. I don't know, you know, Spielberg or Kep came up with this conceit, but like you would just think that like, yeah, everyone clears out and Emily Blunt delivers all this news to the world.
She introduces it. She does her little report.
Yeah, then, but no, it's just like some news anchor that it gets to her. She's in New York.
Yeah.
Like it's so convoluted. And then once it gets to her, you're like, this is the best scene I've ever seen in my life.
It's so the most like some of the most like real acting I've seen in a movie in so long, where it only makes sense that like she had to have been a news reporter. Like that's somebody who is not a like classically Shakespearean trained actor in order to deliver these lines the way that they are written on here. Like she is actively like doing the thing where live feed is coming in and she's trying to like put words to it in the moment. Yeah. And she can't. Yeah, like,
it's just stunning.
She's without words.
Her eyes are so there's like, you know, she's about to cry the whole time. It's so profoundly good.
Well, it's an interesting flip. You know, we were just talking about this movie kind of feeling like a fairy tale before it gets here, right? You know, you have this like magical flashback sequence. You have this magical stick that can do anything that you're heading into the third act with this. And then Spielberg kind of like pumps the brakes on that energy and says like, okay, now when we're actually going to show you the footage that you've been waiting for, we are going to flip on this realism that this movie hasn't tapped into up until this point. And I think that's a really risky thing to do. And I think the movie does it incredibly well, almost too well, thinking like, why isn't the whole movie like this?
Well, I do think, again, to kind of circle the square a little bit and how we kind of brought this whole discussion up of like the idea of humanity and showing humans in like their raw form. You start this film with like something like wrestling that is so carnal and is just about like physical violence. And this is something that is also deeply human. And it's just like this like little kid, how we're all like adults living through the world and like we can see something wonderful and beautiful and amazing and it can just make us want to cry. It can just like melt us down to nothing. And to the point that we can have all this vocabulary and experience that we can draw upon. And when you see something you've never seen before, it just kind of leaves you in wonder. Yeah. It reduces you to nothing. It reduces you to that little kid again.
The other part of it is, you know, why does Spielberg choose this specific mechanism of TV news, of cable news, of journalism to deliver the actual disclosure?
He believes in journalism.
He believes in journalism. We've seen the post. I think that it's also this notion of like, what would actually like mechanically be a credible way to capture everyone's attention as fast as possible and as effectively as possible? Because if you just start a live stream on Instagram, who's going to watch that? If you just upload everything to Reddit, how long is it going to take for it to percolate out?
Yeah.
If you can rein in the live TV journalism audience and have that be the source of credibility that's like, wow, this is important.
Yeah.
That is a risky thing to like, that's a risky button to press in the year 2026 when like cable news is like least important thing that people think about.
Local news.
Local news, but it makes sense from just a mechanical standpoint of like the actual technology that he focuses on. What you're describing earlier, the mechanism of like actually putting this stuff out there, the steps of it, the process of it that this movie shows you. It gives you that sense, that tangible sense of like actual journalistic credibility that tells you like, this is real. This is actually, I should believe this. This is not just someone uploading a funny video to TikTok for laughs or for clicks.
I think to that point, like it is something where like as much as like broadcast news is dead, local news the local news, let's put that on the side a little bit, but just the general broadcast news on television, the credibility to that point. One thing that I've been thinking of is just like, once every 4 years, where do we fucking go to get like live updates on election
Kornacki,
results?
NBC.
Exactly. We're going to NBC. We're going to CNN. At the end of the day, for like big things that are happening in the country that are happening live, we do still kind of rely on these old school mechanisms that have been in place
for the truth.
For the truth.
Well, sports are one of the only things that makes everyone watch the same thing at once. It just was happening with the finals. Now it's happening with the World Cup. Like, that's one of the only things, that's basic cable shit.
And you have to tune in to the broadcast. You got to go into the fucking airwaves in order to get it.
I still think that, generally speaking, like I think it's also a symptom of just Spielberg not being equipped to understand how it would spread through the internet. I don't think that he has any clue how that would work, and he knows how news works. You know what I mean?
He's seen it spread through the internet with all this other stuff that they've released, and it hasn't moved the needle. Like he needed to show a way that was like, this is something different.
No, I know.
This is a way that it would actually grab people.
This was the way to do it also just for a movie. Like this was the way to tell the story 100%. I also just think like this is a guy who like couldn't tell you and also I think in order to really accurately to accurately explain how this would best spread on the internet, you would need to introduce a new character that they get this to, which would be someone who has a big presence on the internet.
Yeah,
and
that's too much.
And that probably would work.
If Jake Paul would have broken the news, would you have been more of it?
Well, no, it's just like that.
Joe Rogan
that is if you're really trying to tell a modern story.
If Hassan gets his hands on this thing,
I'd believe it.
Yeah.
if you're trying to tell a modern story, it should have been the internet, because I mean, I think back to in like 2014, we all lived together. And I remember like we had a couple people over at our apartment. I was in the bathroom taking a shit. And on my phone, I saw the tweet about the dress, the gold, gold versus blue dress.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's funny. And I came out of the bathroom and you all were talking about it. And it had just happened that hour. You know what I mean? And that was over 10 years ago. Yeah. So I think there is a way to tell the story through the internet. It just isn't Spielberg's thing.
Yeah.
I mean, for the same reason, I think for that same reason of like, there's a way to tell the story through smartphones. Come on, Spielberg, let's look back at the last, pretty much since smartphones inception, he has either gone way in the past with period pieces, or he's gone way in the future with something like Ready Player One or some kind of like alternate take on the future or something like that. Like he doesn't really know how to grapple with like the modern internet in like a movie form. And that's not like unique to Spielberg. Shit, the same could be said for like Scorsese and for like all this older generation of filmmakers that they're just like, I don't know how to capture this because I don't inherently find this cinematic. So I don't really know how to capture the internet
in
here.
The last chunk of this movie, everyone's looking at a phone.
Yes, no, that's true. But like,
disbelief.
What would the Ari Aster version of Disclosure Day be? It'd be like a lot more cynical. It'd be like the news came out and then
it would
like
be awful.
It would be like me when I see the aliens are real and doing like the James Baldwin dance from Eddington.
The alien would be holding the phone and it'd be showing you like, look, I gave you this. This was me.
So I'm not yeah, like even though I do think that there's an internet angle that could have been explored by someone younger, I'm not hung up on that because I think that visually and systemically, like the way the story is told makes sense. It's pretty viable. Like also, news networks have I even though it does require a lot of people to all agree to something crazy, to like, all the sequences where they're calling each other like, hey, can we have that?
Yeah. Leap of faith.
Again, yeah, it's a leap of faith. And also, I don't know, I still like it. Where like, there's like, one of them is like, are we sharing like with our bug on it, our network bug? And they're like, no, all networks, we want all networks to have this.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I also just like, I don't know, man. I think that there's room in all like, there's how many movies are released on like an annual basis? Like hundreds, thousands, if we're going in more the indie space. Like I think there's space for both where like I want to see this disclosure day that feels timeless and feels like it could have come out 2026 the same way it could have come out in 2006. I also would love to see a more modern idea of like when aliens come and we don't care because we can't get out of our own fucking way. That's a completely different movie than this one. Mm-hmm. And that can also be interesting in its own rights. Like I think that there's room for both.
Right. The movie also ends at like a fucking incredible point when she says listen. One that when they get the alien out again, you have to have been really locked in to understand where that alien's coming from. Yeah.
What's also
do you think the alien like he meets Wembenyama and Wemby's like looking down on him still? He's like, bitch.
You have this extended sequence of the actual footage, which I think looks great. Like
it's so
many
it's
different
excellent
setups and looks and textures, like the black and white stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The design of the ships and the lights, the Close Encounters type looking stuff.
The editor, Sarah Brochar, said that like that stuff required so much work. And then also just the control rooms on both sides, in the newsroom and in Wardex. Like think about that from an editing perspective where like all those screens are not real.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
It's a lot.
That's so brutal.
It's a great approach, again, just trying to ground it in truth. Like just like the Nixon thing being based in a supposedly real interaction that happened. Real tall tale of Nixon showing off alien bodies. Like most of these shots are probably recreations of other real stories that people have told of things that they've seen over the years, right? Yeah. We see Roswell. We see even the more current stuff of like the Air Force, the jet plane cameras capturing like the orbs and the lights and stuff.
Apparently there's a few of the different like specific shots that are pulled from that are referenced in a documentary that came out last year called The Age of Disclosure, which I have heard is kind of like military propaganda. Like I'm pretty sure Marco Rubio is in this documentary.
Yeah.
But specific, like some of the idea to your point that like some of the specific like shots stuff that they are showing are references to things they're talking about.
I mean, these are also like, videos or like, the concept of military pilots flying and seeing stuff that's in Close Encounters. Like, and it's, it's the exact same thing where they're like, I don't know what the fuck that is. And that's my favorite part of Close Encounters is when they're like, do you want to report it? And they're like, nah, I'm not some fucking weird alien guy.
Yeah.
But I think ending the movie on that line is stupid good.
Well, the thing that I was going to get at is like, you have this extended sequence of all this footage, but then, Spielberg and through the Coleman Domingo characters, like, I know that's not enough.
No, it's like
really sell this. Like, the Coleman Domingo character is building this house, building this entire thing. And he has this plan of the USBs.
He also
with all the footage.
He also is being directed in a way that he doesn't entirely understand by this alien.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so like, it's almost just like he's like out of body, just like, I got to do all this shit.
It's like in our reality, we're seeing all this blurry ass, like grainy black and white footage, and we're saying like, okay, that's not enough.
Sure.
That's not enough. Yeah. You keep saying that's not enough. That's not enough. Is it AI? Oh no, we have the ground pixel technology that tells us it's
we
can
not say
AI.
98% sure it's not AI.
What about
what is ground? It's like a ground true or whatever. Yeah. What the fuck is that?
That's the one way we can just yada that this could be all AI is just like no, don't worry.
But guess what?
We covered our bases.
Guess what's not AI? a real fucking alien.
We're now going to have a
getting
30-minute sit down
of a chair and talking to the camera.
And this
like that. Fuck yes.
Exactly. So many people, the biggest critique of the whole movie is like, so people will see that footage and then believe it. There's a real fucking alien.
Yeah.
And
it's in the new studio.
And this alien has the ability to imbue humans with like whatever profound shit they want to stick in their brain.
Yeah.
What if this alien has given, through Josh O'Connor, given Emily Blunt a sequence of words that's going to fucking Manchurian candidate the whole world into being more empathetic?
Yeah.
Like that is well within the range of
I think more than even that. More than
even like a flash dance is probably the more like.
Yeah, that's probably
What's
they'll
the
do like
difference,
the
man?
Harlem,
That's
the Harlem.
The sigh.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just the once that alien has the channels of reaching the whole world at once, I feel like it can kind of do anything.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's pluribus. It's
so-
gonna just
yeah, like
it's just gonna take over.
And that's not necessarily a great thing. As like again, I kind of wish that there wasn't a hint of the aliens being kind of scary. Because like I want to believe that they're going to do good with
aliens
that.
are like, man, I can't wait to find out what those no parts are. I know, but like
Josh O'Connor has that tiny penis.
And we like it.
Josh O'Connor was like, I was 8. What do you want from me? No, but I do think like the way that I took that of like the last line of listen is like the alien is now about to speak and now we're all about to understand. Like these two people were the interpreters that we needed to get us to this
link
point.
has been made.
And exactly. The link is now there and now we can make this connection.
I know.
We can move on past this. Except for North Korea, which doesn't have smartphones.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. But
we'll have to worry about that.
I think it's like a fucking, I don't know. It's like a peekaboo thing. It's like an object permanence thing where like the main critique of the movie is like, well, it ended in that second. And so that's all I can base my critique. Yeah. It's like, no, something was about to happen that completely would invalidate your main problem. We have talked about a million problems we have with this movie.
Yeah.
But that's not one of them.
I do think part of me does things. And even on the second watch, when it ends, I'm like, damn, like that's it.
No, come on. That's perfect. Most movies should end right before you think they should.
I know, but I'm just like, I'm
more.
so gripped, you know? I'm like so there. I'm like, oh, can you just keep going? I would sit here and watch more. Like I can't help that feeling of like,
Steve's
damn
a gooner. Steve wants to leave you wanting more.
He doesn't want you to.
He wants you to edge.
Yeah. No, I think it's absolutely perfect. There's no message that would be good enough to justify what we are imagining. Although, as it turns out, plenty of people are not willing to imagine something. But fuck them. That's stupid. You know, I think where we end up in this movie justifies all the million issues that come before it. I think there's something really profound about the movie. I think it has moments of being Spielberg at his very, very best. And all the bad that you can take with that is completely worth it.
Yeah.
Also, journalism is important.
Journalism is important.
And we should value it.
Yeah.
All right, we did it. Disclosure Day.
I know, that was way too long.
No,
but
I mean, it's a great movie.
Hey,
I knew it was good. I mean, this
movie.
movie is so interesting to talk about. There's so much stuff going on.
Yeah, it's a full meaty meal.
Mm-hmm.
One thing is like she says, this is Disclosure Day. I think I can't remember who said this. They were like, that's like if someone was like, my mom has to pick me up from school. It's 9/11.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, oh, you wouldn't say it today is Disclosure.
It's
Yeah,
like,
I don't think
it's like if in like 1917 the soldiers were like, this is World War I.
Yeah. It's in the film Pressure that came out this year, and they're just like, no, this is going to be known as D-Day.
Yeah. All right. Well, we can wrap it up there. Thank you all for listening. Rate, review, and subscribe, like, and comment. Let us know your thoughts on Disclosure Day. Join the Discord, patreon.com/WeBoughtAMic. Thank you to all the beautiful donors who support this podcast. Next week, it is a catch-up episode, grab bag of things we missed while we were out. And more Spielberg talk with the Films for Breakfast crosspod ranking. Adam is unveiling his updated ranking after his series has wrapped, featuring extended thoughts on the film E.T. and the film Close Encounters.
Yeah. So my big special episode gets blended with another episode.
We don't have to.
No.
Look, if you want to just like have it on there, do you have a top 10 Spielberg
Yeah.
you can give?
Yeah, of course.
We can separate.
I don't know how many.
You guys think I haven't seen any movies ever? It's fucking Steven Spielberg.
You ever seen Jurassic Park?
Yes, but
Okay, all right. Well,
yes, but like it's iffy. You know
Also,
what I mean? Like TNT Jurassic Park.
our mid-year draft annual tradition will also be happening. And we continue our Denzel Washington series with the film Malcolm X, a Spike Lee joint, a Knicks winner.
Wow.
Spike Lee.
Who's on that episode? Do we know?
yes, we do know. We do know.
Is it Spike Lee?
It's the alien.
It's
It's the alien.
Listen,
it's a new guess.
we should end the. Can we end right here? Listen.
Bye.